the air, online, covering the Treasure Coast. Get connected with the Get Up and Go Show. And now here's your hosts, Evan and Bonnie.
.607 on a Monday morning. It's Get Up and Go Show with Evan and Bonnie. And we're back in the saddle after I don't know what the heck you want to call this weekend. I can't even put it into words. I'm just like, I don't even want to get started because I'll go on a rant for all 3 hours. That's how bad it was. You know, I don't even care to talk about it, relive it. It was a wild ride.
It was a strange kind of weekend. You know, when you're watching the news, you kind of saw, you saw a lot of protesting, peaceful protesting, some violent protesting.
Yeah.
And then we see the SpaceX launch too on Saturday.
That was gorgeous,
which
by the
went
way.
off beautifully. And it was, I don't know, it was just like a weekend where you're taking it in the good and the bad.
And then you may as well just throw the ugly in too.
Yeah.
Right? The good, the bad, the ugly. But I want to talk about the good because I just feel that everybody's been polluted with so much bad all weekend that I really don't want to touch on anything bad during the program today. I want to touch on good stuff. So let's talk about SpaceX. First off, you saw the launch Saturday, right?
Yes.
That was phenomenal.
It really was. And I thought the channel that I had on, I thought the broadcasters, the young broadcasters there at NASA were doing an excellent job.
Did you watch the NASA channel too?
With their broadcasting. I didn't turn on the NASA channel, no.
Okay.
I had a regular channel on, but the young people there were 3 people there, like at a panel broadcasting it all. And I thought they were just doing an excellent job.
I had the NASA channel on. I put it on my computer, and then I, off my MacBook, I sent it over to the big 80-inch screen TV. So we watched it through the computer on the big screen TV in full surround sound. And to see that rocket go up and then how smooth the ride was for the astronauts, there was no shaking at all.
Yeah. And they had a nice video footage of the 2 of them in the shuttle as well. It was beautiful to see the shuttle area, and then the windows kind of open and all of that space and earth around them.
Yeah, definitely so. Definitely so.
It looks like you got to be a pretty patient person, I would think, to be an astronaut, because I just remember them, like, watching them, you know, sitting there waiting to be launched. And they were just like sitting there patiently for like a really, really long time. And I think to get them in the spirit of things, they too were listening to AC/DC's Back in Black.
Yeah, they were listening to like some heavy metal stuff, which I thought was pretty cool.
Yeah.
But hey, rock and roll all the way up to the International Space Station. That definitely, the launch was great. Went off without a hitch. It was beautiful. I had some friends of mine that went up to the Cape and saw it. They said it was pretty cool. To see them, you know, watch the whole process of them getting strapped in. And then they just basically, they sit there and they wait. They've got a bathroom on board if they have to go to the bathroom. They have some food. So it's like all the comforts of home. And in fact, they even said they got 7-8 hours sleep. So
yeah.
Now, did you see they had an extra passenger on board during liftoff? Did you happen to take note of that?
The extra passenger was
the dinosaur.
Oh, yeah.
You know what the dinosaur is for?
What's it for?
Well, what they use that dinosaur for is basically it lets them know when they are in full weightlessness, when there's zero gravity. So the dinosaur starts floating.
Yeah.
So that tells them that they have no more gravity at all.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, they do that in a lot of the missions. But they said the forces of gravity taking off was unreal. It's kind of crazy. of how that all happens. And then Sunday, to watch this thing dock into the ISS was like, wow. That was what, did you happen to catch that on TV on Sunday?
On Sunday, I had to work. I caught it all on Saturday.
You worked
with,
at Massage Envy?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, Sunday was way cool when the ship docked, and it made it up with the ISS, the Dragon, and to see that happen. And then you have the Chris Cassidy and the other two astronauts that are aboard the ISS were waiting for the two astronauts that blasted off from the Cape. The hatch opened up, and then here comes astronaut number 1 floating through, and astronaut number 2 floating through, and they all hugged. And then there was 5 of them up there all together, and they had a press conference and
had a little party.
Yeah.
Did they get to take a little nap, I'm sure, at the space station too, where they landed?
I don't know. I mean, they took off at 3:32 and they docked at like around 10:15, 10:30. So that was basically let me see, 20. They traveled about 19 hours. It took 18, 19 hours to get to the space station, and they got 7 hours sleep. So it was a regular day. They blasted off. They went to bed like they normally would go to bed at night. So I don't think they needed a nap because they got their regular amount of sleep.
It would be hard to sleep because could you imagine, Evan, if you're making history like that and you're those 2 astronauts that are doing so? It would be so exciting. I don't even know if I would sleep during any of the occasion.
Yeah, it was definitely pretty exciting.
It has to be a feeling of such euphoria for them.
Yeah, definitely so. It was without a doubt, it was a great day. It was a historic day. It's been many years since American astronauts have blasted off on from American soil, right?
Yeah, and with a private company now, and getting closer to hopefully exploring Mars and more of Mars.
Yeah, they were talking about going to Mars, but first they want to put a man on the moon again. So that's going to be very cool to do. I'm just I like the SpaceX program. I think it's a great program. It's successful so far. The launch was great. The docking was great. Now they're going to live up there for a while. They're going to get all their experiments done. They're going to do what they need to do. And then we will see what happens going down the road.
It's beautiful to see. And, you know, as we're on positive stories on this Monday morning, I saw a couple of more really on Saturday on the news. I saw where a small school in Key West, they held a graduation ceremony. And all of the graduates got to be on jet skis during it.
Oh yeah, I saw that. That was pretty cool. They all drove by the principal, who was on the tail end of the boat, and he had one of those sticks, like a grabber, like that you pick up trash in the yard with.
Yeah.
And he put each diploma in the grabber stick, and he handed them to the graduate. So that was pretty cool.
He kept his social distancing that way.
Yeah, definitely.
And, you know, growing up in Key West, I'm sure all of those youths learn how to water ski and jet ski and do all that at a very young age. And that's like a graduation you would never forget. And it just makes me wonder if maybe their graduating classes to come are going to want to do that sort of thing year after year after year now. It was
pretty cool. I actually watched some video of it right before we went on the air this morning, and to see the way that was done, that was definitely very, very cool, I will say.
Yep. One more positive plus story, too, that I have. After 32 days in an induced coma, a 5-month-old baby in Brazil has officially beaten the coronavirus.
Oh, wow.
At 5 months old.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah. So, we just kind of like need some positive stories this morning.
Yeah, I definitely don't want to talk about negativity in the show this morning. Nothing at all. I don't want to talk about what happened over the weekend. Even if it was good, I still don't want to talk about it because good led to bad, and bad leads to evil. So that's all I'm going to say. as far as that goes. Now, going on to other things, what did you do this weekend?
Let's see. Oh, well, I watched the SpaceX launch with the kids. I
Okay.
had
The kids were down.
yeah.
Okay, cool.
I had both of Jaden
Awesome.
and Topanga.
Awesome.
So, I got to witness that moment in history with them.
Cool.
And
Very good.
the last time we witnessed history together, I made them wake up. I got them out of bed like
That was
at
history,
7.
just making them wake up.
No, it was, but
I know getting kids up nowadays early is enough to make history. I mean, Gavin, heck, he sleeps till 2 p.m. now.
No.
All of a sudden, so it's like to get him up at 9 a.m. That's a history-breaking event. I should call the news station for that.
it's hard to get Topanga up too because she likes to sleep till like noon or 1 o'clock now.
Yeah.
But now, the reason I had woken them up in the past was you're going to laugh at this.
Okay.
But particularly Topanga, being a girl, I wanted her to wake up. It was during the royal wedding.
The royal wedding.
Yeah.
That's not something to laugh about. It's a momentous occasion.
I know. And it's just like, oh, she's sleepy and she's like, really? You're getting me up for this?
For a stupid royal wedding? Come on. Let me sleep.
But it was pretty grandiose. And then
Okay.
she did enjoy.
That's a new word, grandiose.
Yeah.
That's like babushka. So now we have babushka, and it's going to be a grandiose babushka moment.
Yeah.
There we go.
I kind of like that word, grandiose, don't you?
Where did that come from? Is that even a word?
I think it is.
Or did you just make that up?
No, I don't make up things. I can't make
Okay.
up things that good.
Okay.
I'm not that good.
Okay.
But yeah, just to see the gowns and
Okay.
to see the little kids, following the bride, and
Right.
just this big occasion that I wanted them to witness it with me.
Okay. All right. I did my usual trip down to West Palm to the daughter's house. And unfortunately, I got to see her for all of about 30 seconds because she got
Oh,
called in because
Yeah.
of next subject. Anyway, so I spent time with her girlfriend at their new home in the Palatial Palace, and my wife got to see the daughter's new truck. I told you about the truck, right? She got the new Ford F-150 Raptor Black Ops Edition.
A very rare truck, I expect.
It's only 250 made
Oh,
in the United States, and she has number 250.
she's going to be polishing and waxing that thing, I bet, every single weekend, right?
Yeah.
I would be.
Yeah, it's a pretty bad woman.
Is she safe though?
Yeah, she's safe.
That's
Thank
the
you
main
for asking.
matter.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no sleep last night for me.
Oh,
But when I got the text that she was home, that was good. That's all I needed was that text.
Evan's daughter is a canine police officer, by the way.
With the city of West Palm Beach. So, needless to say, I was on pins and needles
I bet.
last night. I was watching all the events unfold. But anyway, next subject. Like I said, I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to get into it. I don't want to talk about the bad stuff. I want to try to keep the show uplifting and keep it on a positive
Next
note.
hour, it will be the ugly stuff.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding.
No, there's no ugly happen today.
No.
Sorry. I'll go out the door on that one. 6:20. It's news time. Let's go to the news desk. Where Bonnie's standing by. Good morning, Bonnie.
Good morning, Evan. Protesters across a Stewart Bridge Sunday afternoon as a show of solidarity for Black lives. The protest along the Roosevelt Bridge was peaceful, a stark contrast to the protests that took place throughout the country in response to the death of George Floyd, the Minnesota man who died after a police officer placed his knee on the man's neck for nearly 9 minutes. Protesters held signs and chanted, "No justice, no peace, and Black Lives Matter." One sign read, "Don't kill us, then ask for peace." Before crossing the bridge, the protesters gathered to listen to church leaders and other speakers, including Denver Broncos safety Justin Simmons. Simmons, who grew up in Port Salerno, preached unity and called for justice, not only for Floyd, but for all those whose lives have been cut short because of racism and hate. He said Floyd's death is the result of 300 and more years that we have been oppressed from the system. Helen Lurie is one of the many who attended Sunday's protest. "I'm here, and my husband is here today because of the injustice that we've been seeing for way too long," she told WPTV News Channel 5. She said violence is never the answer when protesting, Absolutely not, she said. Destroying businesses is in our community. That's not what I stand for. Hurting individuals, hurting law enforcement officers definitely don't stand behind that agenda. But she understands why it's happening. There's people and destruction happening around the country right now because people are hurt, she said. We're hurting. And Simmons also praised protesters for keeping the peace. We do not have our justice, so let's understand that, but we will get it not by force, he said. Shots were fired at the Palm Beach outlets, and several stores at the West Palm Beach Outlet Mall were damaged by looters Sunday night after a day of protests in response to the death of George Floyd. West Palm Beach police were blocking the Palm Beach Lakes Boulevard entrance to the mall, where the glass storefronts of several businesses were shattered. Police were seen helping employees try to safely leave the stores. WPTV News Channel 5 reporter Ryan Hughes said rocks were thrown at police officers. Windows to the Target store across the street were also smashed. A Geek Squad van was set on fire in the parking lot of the Best Buy just east of Interstate 95, where protesters marched hours earlier. A nearby liquor store and beauty supply store were also ransacked. Several miles away, a Walmart at the corner of Forest Hill Boulevard and Jog Road was raided by looters. An employee told Hughes that 40 or 50 people rushed inside the store, stealing electronics and knocking over displays. The escalating incidents prompted West Palm Beach Mayor Keith James to issue a citywide curfew from 9 p.m. to 6 a.m. No serious injuries have been reported. June 1st is the first day of hurricane season, and we may see the third named storm soon. In Central America, the remnants of what was a very brief tropical storm Amanda in the Eastern Pacific may now have a chance to become Cristobal in the Gulf of Mexico. The NHC has given this disturbance a 70% chance for development over the next 5 days as it meanders around Guatemala, Honduras, Belize, and Mexico. Regardless of development, it could produce extremely dangerous flash flooding and mudslides this week due to heavy rainfall. The tricky part for the U.S. comes next weekend as this disturbance begins to move toward Texas and Louisiana. It's hard to say how it might further develop in the Gulf of Mexico. And now it is time to take a look at sports. Roger Federer has taken over as the highest paid athlete in Forbes' annual earnings report, topping Cristiano Ronaldo and Lionel Messi, who have held the number one spot in 3 of the past 4 years. Federer earned $106 million pre-tax, edging out Ronaldo by about $1 million to take over number one. News time 6:24. Weather and traffic together will be next.
$6:25 is the time on the Get Up and Go show with Evan and Bonnie. It's time for traffic and weather together. All brought to you by Code Red Roofers. Bonnie?
Well, Monday morning and the roads are quiet. We're not having any traffic accidents. We're not seeing any kind of slowdowns throughout the entire Treasure Coast right now. There's your latest look at traffic. It's 74 in Port St. Lucie, a warm 76 in Stewart. Here's our forecast at WPTV.
It is a warm and humid morning here on the Treasure Coast with a slight chance for some patchy fog and a few coastal showers. This afternoon, very warm with high temperatures in the mid to upper 80s and breezy easterly winds. Rain chances are lower along the coast and a little higher inland with a few showers and thunderstorms possible around Lake Okeechobee. I'm WPTV First Alert meteorologist Glenn Glazer on WSTU AM 1450, Martin County's Heritage Station.
You're listening to the Get Up and Go Show with Evan and Bonnie on Martin County's Heritage Station, AM 1450 WSTU. Now let's get back to the program with Evan and Bonnie.
6:28 is the time on the Get Up and Go Show, and it's that time with we have a segment. We talk about viral videos. We talk about viral videos in this segment this morning. And a police dispatcher, this one's about a police dispatcher. And, you know, this could have been tragic. A woman on a highway in Ohio couldn't get her car to slow down. So she called 911. She was saved by a dispatcher who instructed her to gradually pull the emergency brake until the car slowed to a stop. Several patrol cars were also on the scene, and there's dash cam video from one of them who followed from behind until she was safe. I wonder if there's audio for this. Let's listen.
My lights are already on. Just let her know I'm here behind her. We'll get a good game plan. Break the DRP. She's all the way over on the right-hand side. She can't get slowed down. She almost got me. She can't get slowed down.
Yeah, they couldn't.
She's gonna walk up the back wheels. I'm not sure she's gonna be able to control that slide.
Ooh, man, the video's unbelievable.
Yeah.
You know, finally.
Emma, this is Becky.
Here's the
listen to me right now.
911
okay?
operator talking her through.
Okay. She's tapping her brakes. It won't do anything. All right. Now, I want you to take a hold of your emergency brake. Do you hear me? Emma, this is Becky. All right. Take a hold of your emergency brake and just gradually pull that a little bit and see if it slows you down at all. Emma, does it slow you down at all?
The first thing I would have done is had her put the car in neutral.
It does?
Oh, okay.
The emergency brake
Yeah.
does slow her down some.
And there's the car slowing down. There we go. And it's a happy ending.
Finally.
Yeah. I would have said first put the car in neutral before pulling the brake up, because pulling the brake up while the car's in drive, that's not going to do any justice.
Yeah. It could just instantly kind of jolt you and instantly turn off, right?
Yeah.
And like a sudden sort of crash, and you could maybe see her going through the windshield if you do that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But fortunately, it
turned out
well.
to be good.
How
Fine.
fast was she going?
I don't know.
think?
I don't know. Probably she was on an interstate, so probably 60, 70 miles an hour, something like that.
You know, it's good to be on that interstate, but like if you put yourself in the driving seat in her shoes, you know, like I would be in such fear of, okay, so when does that interstate run out, and when do I hit the city and the city limits? It looks like she had a wide open space at least when she couldn't brake and her braking system wasn't working. But I would be worried, like, wow, when am I going to reach a area where there's a lot more cars and that city, and then, you know, do I exit somewhere? Do I crash? Do I, suddenly just do a voluntary crash somewhere?
Yeah.
That would be like a really rough thing. It looked like she was going at a pretty good speed too.
Yeah. We have a lot of people tuning in this morning on our Facebook page. Want to say good morning to David, RJ, Michael Cooperman, Phil Benfield's here, Petra Sawicki, otherwise known as Petey. Thomas is watching from Connecticut. So, we've got people tuning in from all over the world watching us this morning. Bonnie, we all know the cliche about kids, they stick their fingers in their ears while they're being scolded. Well, this is the dog equivalent of it. A woman is disciplining her pup for making a mess, so he drowns out the scolding by whining louder than her. Listen in.
Blue. Who did this? Blue, come here. Come here. Who did this? Blue, sit down. No, you're a bad boy. Blue, stop. Nobody. Blue, listen. Blue. Please.
Right? Is that crazy?
Yeah.
Is that crazy?
It sounds like a guy, like an old man bellowing or something.
Right?
That blue in the sound sounds like it's coming from its inner belly.
Yeah.
Like what a big dog.
If my dog does something wrong, I instantly know, because when I just give her a look, I have to do nothing more than look at her. And the tail goes between the legs.
Yeah.
And she goes to this one spot. My dog's very strange. In my office, I have a closet that I keep open, and she'll go in the closet in the corner and she'll hide.
Oh.
Yeah, she goes in the closet.
That's her little safety zone.
Yeah, she knows. She knows all heck's about to break loose.
I mentioned before, like I had Dalmatians at one time, and the Dalmatian dogs would, if they knew they did something wrong, they would smile. They do like a full out smile, showing their teeth. They smile if they get kind of excited, like happy to see you.
Right.
And then they have a nervous smile and when they know that they did something wrong.
Okay. All right. Bonnie, did you know the older you get, the more likely you'll need friends as you get older?
As you get older.
Yeah. Do you know why?
Because your kids grow up and you have that empty nesting going on.
I don't know why. I don't know why. It just says the older you get, the more likely you'll need friends.
Yeah, it is true, because loneliness is, it's sad, and
Kind of like one. That's the loneliest number.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You heard of that
true.
song, right?
A little 3-dog night for us this morning.
Did you know that children develop a fashion sense by the time they turn the age of 7 years old? Now, how old's Topanga?
She is 14.
Okay, well, she's beyond that. She's got her fashion sense already.
She's had a fashion sense since she was 3, I think. She's a very fashionable girl.
Did you know that 10% of adult men say they still go to their mom for advice on clothes?
Were you doing that?
No. No. My kids.
Oh, okay.
My kids dress me.
You go to your kids for advice.
Yeah, my kids dress me.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that much. That's why I dress the way I do, because my kids dress me.
That's pretty
cool. They don't want dad wearing Velcro sneakers, or pants over his, way up to his chest, or whatever the heck you call it,
or falling below and showing, falling below your waist.
My dad
down there.
My dad, rest in peace, Pops. He had these pants we used to call fall down pants. I kid you not. And every time he would wear these fall down pants, he'd walk and they would just fall down.
Really?
Yeah, they'd fall down right to his knees. Funniest thing ever.
So what kind of sneakers are cool with the kids? Are New Balance in?
Yeah, New Balances are in. I wear Nike. I wear between Nike and Under Armour. That's really all that I wear is Nike and Under Armour shoes.
Because there was like a real long while where I would overlook New Balance shoes. I've had New Balance before, but I wasn't buying them for a long while because I think some youngster said that, those shoes are for old folks.
No, they're not. No, New Balance shoes are cool shoes.
I think they are.
Cool shoes.
I like the way they look. Nike will always be my favorite, though.
Yeah, same. I'm a Nike and Under Armour.
Yeah, I like the way they look. I like the way they feel when I run.
You notice that every time I'm in at work, everything has to match.
I see.
So you have the Under Armour hat, you have the Under Armour shirt, the Under Armour shorts, and the Under Armour sneakers.
Under Armour deodorant too?
No, they don't make Under Armour deodorant.
Oh, they should.
No, they don't.
That'd be a good name
I know
for it.
Underarm. Yes, I definitely get it.
Add to their empire a little bit.
Thank you very much. Bonnie, did you know, according to Men's Health, engaged men are more likely to lose weight if they are helping plan a formal wedding?
They're more likely to lose weight?
More likely to lose weight if they're helping to plan a formal wedding.
Yeah, well, yeah, because
stress. Because
all of the mothers involved and the bridesmaids, and
yes,
I mean, they probably drive those men crazy with all of the details that they have to. Did you get this? Did you call them? Did you go out and get that?
Yes.
Do I have this right?
Do I have that right?
Yeah.
I get it. Totally get it.
A stressful occasion. I think man or woman, planning a wedding would tend to lose a few pounds
Yeah, definitely. So, did you know that, Bonnie, 21% of Americans say that the first thing they do when they get out of bed in the morning, do you want to take a stab at it before I reveal the answer?
They go to the bathroom,
Nope.
right?
Nope. 21% of Americans do this.
Oh,
They don't go to the bathroom, but
feed-
it has something to
feed
do
their
with going
cat.
to the bathroom.
feed their kitty.
Nope.
No?
Nope. Has something to do with going to the bathroom,
Hmm.
which causes you to go to the bathroom.
They have a cigarette.
No, cigarettes don't cause you to go to the bathroom.
Actually, it does.
Does it really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it's a stimulant, like
I
coffee
didn't know
is
that.
too. Yeah, it can be
Really?
a stimulant to make you go. Yeah.
Wow, I didn't know that. That's something new I learned.
Mhm.
Well, it's drinking water.
Oh.
Drinking water. 21% of Americans say that the first thing they do when they get out of bed in the morning is they have a cold glass of water.
I guess you're right, because I think 9 out of 10 times I get up in the morning, I'm doing that too. I'm going straight for the water.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Is that what you do? You have water in the morning first thing?
I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Start your day off a little wet.
Uh-huh. Oh,
All right.
and you know what we noticed is really good to drink too, like for losing weight, if you want to get, say, your kids off the soda and the fattening soda drinks.
Please help me with that one.
Crystal Light.
Okay. Now I drink Propel.
Oh, that's
Propel
good
is
too.
0 calories.
Yeah.
And I drink Diet Snapple tea.
Oh, Propel is 0 calories.
Propel is 0.
I know.
Cito.
And that has the flavored
Just flavored water.
flavored
That's
water.
all it is. I drink grape.
Oh, I've had
I
grape
like
before. That's
Yeah,
really good.
I drink grape.
Crystal Light, I think, has 5 calories.
Still not bad at all.
So we made a full pitcher full of Crystal Light. They like the fruit punch. So why like the fruit punch
Okay.
flavor?
All right. Did you know, Bonnie, that a survey says that 64% of women think about their to-do list while they're in the shower?
Mm-hmm.
While they're in the shower.
Yeah, I do it while I'm in the shower, and actually I do it at night as I'm in bed winding down before I go to sleep.
Okay.
Or actually I go, and then I go over the day's events for, like, I go over in my mind what I accomplished during the day.
If I was a woman though, I probably would be doing it while I'm in my other office.
Oh,
sitting down.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's kind of hard to take your iPad or a notepad and be writing in the shower.
Oh, I can no, not in the shower. I'm talking about in the other office.
Oh.
Trying to be nice about it.
Oh, okay.
The office.
Yeah.
The private office.
Yeah. We have that office
where you
at
take
home.
care of your business. Everybody's got one of those.
Yeah.
Right? I could bring a whole library in there and spend a day in there.
Do you tell Rachel I'm going to my office?
Yeah, I'm going to visit the office. She knows what the office is.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And then she knows not to bother you.
Flip the fan on. That's all you got to do. Real simple. A survey. No, not that one. Okay, here we go. Did you know, Bonnie, that you ever heard of the knot.com? The knot.com?
I haven't.
KNOT. It's a website for brides and grooms that are getting married.
Nice. Oh, tying the knot.
Yes, tying the knot. And did you know the knot.com says over half of all grooms choose the venue for their weddings? So the knot is stating that the grooms are the ones that are picking the locations for their weddings opposed to the brides.
Interesting.
Now, when Rachel and I got married 20 years ago, I think we're celebrating our 21st wedding anniversary in October, if I'm not mistaken.
21.
Yeah, 21.
Congrats.
Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
When we got married, because I was in the wedding business, the wife said, I only really just want 2 things. I'm like, what's that? She goes, pick out the wedding cake and pick out my dress. I'm like, all right, that's fine.
Easy.
No problem.
Mm-hmm.
So being that I was in the wedding business and I knew everybody, I got the venue. We picked out the food together with the help of CJ. Our wedding was in West Palm at a place called the Palm Beach Hotel. It was on the island of Palm Beach.
Beautiful. I bet that was really nice.
And we got married in this little Baptist church in Green Acres.
Oh, I love that.
I can't remember the guy's name that Rob. Yes. Rob was the gentleman that married Rachel and I. And it was a great little ceremony, nice little church. And I went to pay for our wedding, And the guy that runs the place, we had our wedding on a Sunday. The guy that runs the place was like, "No, you don't pay me anything. Your wedding is a gift from me." Because I refer a lot of business to him. So he goes, "Your wedding is a gift from me."
Beautiful.
And I'm like, "No way." He goes, "Yeah, you just tip my staff and that's it. Your wedding is a gift from me. This way I don't have to pay my staff. You tip the staff and the wedding's a gift from me." So we picked out, and we weren't, fancy with everything, especially since he was giving us everything. So we basically did like a chicken, a beef, a fish, a potato, a vegetable, rolls, butter, and a salad. And it was a buffet. Pretty simple. Wedding cake, pretty basic. It was a 3-tier wedding cake. The only request that my wife had, it was very strange. Back in the day, 20 years ago, she was addicted to Mountain Dew.
Really?
Yeah. Rachel and I, we really don't drink, as you well know.
I like Mountain Dew too.
So the only request that Rachel had was she wanted a case of Mountain Dew under her table, our head table where we sat, so she could have the Mountain Dew all to herself. So sure enough, CJ gets a case of Mountain Dew and places it right under the bride and groom's table.
Beautiful.
And there it is, sitting right there for her to indulge in.
She must have been like a hyper bride afterward.
No, she was actually, she wasn't too hyper.
You would think it would help her to just kind of like dance the night away.
No, nope.
And tell the guests not to go home because
it was a great wedding.
Yeah.
We had a good time, and then we hopped in the car and we went to Disney World. And we took all 3 kids.
And that's a beautiful story, Evan.
Yeah.
It sounds like you kind of had like that storybook wedding and able to take the kids too and have the kids involved.
Figured why not?
Was one of your boys a ring bearer in that sort?
Yes, Dylan was. And he had the most devious look on his face when he walked down the aisle with the pillow and the ring.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was. He had this look because Dylan was Dylan back in the day, and he just would get in all sorts of trouble all the time. And he had this look on his face walking down the aisle with the pillow like, what can I do to screw up this wedding? He did. I'm kidding you. I kid you not. If I could find the picture, I would show it to you. But he had that look on his face.
Now, did you have to DJ your own wedding too?
No, my business partner, Russ.
Okay.
My business partner, Russ, did that.
Well, I'm glad you kept it in the family.
Yeah, he took care of the
Anyway.
wedding. He took care of the wedding. My good friend, Don Hill, who has since passed away, took care of the limousine service. My friend, Wilbur Thompson, did our wedding photos, didn't charge us anything, nor did he charge us for the video. So it was a good time had by all.
No wonder why you have such a happy marriage, because it sounds like we're off to a good financial start.
Don't just jump to conclusions. Happy marriage, because nobody has a perfect happy marriage. I will say that every marriage has trials and tributes. And marriage is tough, and even after 20 years, we're still working on marriage, and just we're not at each other's throats. So that's the main thing.
That's a good thing,
especially during these trying times of all the crap that's going on with. I almost said the C word. I don't want to say the C word this morning,
but it has put people through the test to see if you can grow old with that person.
Yeah, and I mean, it's nice to see, different stuff on the news, but I don't like what I'm seeing on the news. That's all I'm going to say, and I'll leave it at that. 6:46 on a Monday morning with Evan and Bonnie on the Get Up and Go show. It's time for news. Let's go to the news desk where Bonnie is standing by. Good morning, Bonnie.
Good morning, Evan. And protesters marched across a Stewart Bridge yesterday afternoon as a show of solidarity for Black lives. The protest along the Roosevelt Bridge was peaceful, a stark contrast to the protests that took place throughout the country in response to the death of George Floyd, the Minnesota man who died after a police officer placed his knee on the man's neck for nearly 9 minutes. Protesters held signs and chanted, "No justice, no peace," and "Black Lives Matter." One sign read, "Don't kill us, then ask for peace." Before crossing the bridge, the protesters gathered to listen to church leaders and other speakers, including Denver Broncos safety Justin Simmons. Simmons, who grew up in Port Salerno, preached unity and called for justice, not only for Floyd, but for all those whose lives have been cut short because of racism and hate. He said Floyd's death is the result of 300 and more years that we have been oppressed from the system. And the death of George Floyd while in police custody in Minneapolis is prompting protests nationwide, including Miami. That city's police chief says most of the people arrested over the weekend are outside instigators.
Of the 57 people that were arrested, 13 of those 57 live in the city of Miami.
The death of George Floyd while in police custody. And that was Chief George Colina saying the others arrested came from places like Georgia, New York, and Minnesota. Both the city and Miami-Dade County have issued nighttime curfews until further notice. Curfews were also imposed in Orlando and Orange County after weekend protests. The Department of Health is reporting that Florida now has more than 56,000 cases of the coronavirus. The statewide death toll stands at 2,451. The Dragon Crew capsule carrying 2 American astronauts is now docked with the International Space Station. The SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket blasted off from Cape Canaveral on Saturday. The Dragon Crew capsule carrying American astronauts is now docked with the International Space Station.
Capture complete.
That came yesterday morning, just under 19 hours after liftoff from Kennedy Space Center. And a look at sports. Colin Kaepernick hasn't played in the NFL for 3 years, and one former NFL executive has addressed how the former 49ers quarterback's decision to kneel to protest police brutality impacted his football career. Joe Lockhart, the former NFL vice president of communications from 2016 to 2018, discussed how Kaepernick's silent protests shook team owners and started a social justice conversation around the league. However, Lockhart also admitted what no one at the NFL has ever explicitly stated about the situation. No teams wanted to sign a player, even one as talented as Kaepernick, whom they saw as controversial and therefore bad for business. Kaepernick's protests have returned to the national spotlight after George Floyd, a black man, died last Monday after being violently apprehended by Minneapolis police. Floyd's death has sparked many reactions from athletes, and protests have broken out in multiple cities across the nation. News time is 6:50. Weather and traffic together are next.
$6:52 the time on the Get Up and Go show with Evan and Bonnie. It's time for traffic and weather together, all brought to you by Code Red Roofers. Bonnie?
The roads are quiet this morning. We don't see any accidents on the major highways. Federal Highway is clear, moving right through Martin County and St. Lucie County. Expect a nice ride. There's your latest look at traffic. On the warm, humid side, 76 in Stewart. Here's our forecast at WPTV.
It is a warm and humid morning here on the Treasure Coast with a slight chance for some patchy fog and a few coastal showers this afternoon. Very warm with high temperatures in the mid to upper 80s and breezy easterly winds. Rain chances are lower along the coast and a little higher inland with a few showers and thunderstorms possible around Lake Okeechobee. I'm WPTV First Alert meteorologist Glenn Glazer on WSTU AM 1450, Martin County's Heritage Station.
If you have a suggestion for the show, we would love to hear from you. Send us an email to WSTUmorningshow@gmail.com. Now let's get back to the Get Up and Go show. Here's Evan and Bonnie.
.656 on the Get Up and Go show with Evan and Bonnie, and the band played on. That's the Shy Guys. Fredo's off today. Want to say good morning to Russ Patty, who's watching on our Facebook page, along with Karen Boyd over at St. Lucie Trail Golf Club in Lakeview Terrace. April Dunlap from church is watching, along with my cousin Keith. Jennifer Caputo is there, and her beautiful kids. Oh, my God. She's got some gorgeous kids.
Does she really?
Oh, my gosh. You just want to just bite their cheeks. They're so adorable.
Do they have some beautiful hair going on?
Gorgeous girls.
Beautiful eyes
Man.
With the natural lashes and long lashes. And
yeah.
When you started playing that song, I almost thought it was Adam Ant with Goody Two Shoes. It started like the beginning of Goody Two Shoes of Adam back in the day.
Okay.
It's almost what I thought it was.
Way back in the day.
Yeah.
I have the top 5 signs that you're possibly a lonely person. Top 5 signs you're possibly a lonely person. Phil has his top 10 list.
Yes.
Live. I'm going to start doing a segment, top 5.
All right.
So this is the top 5 signs that you're a lonely person. Okay. Coming in at number 5 on Facebook, your only friend is yourself. Okay. Your only friend is yourself.
Yeah, that would be there would be a chance you could be a lonely person.
Coming in at number 4, Bonnie, is your bicycle built for 2 has only 1 seat.
It's a unisex bike.
Right. No, it's that would be a unicycle.
Yeah, a unicycle.
But it's a bicycle built for 2 with 1 seat. Coming in at number 3, Bonnie, you thought that tug of war was a one-person game. Okay, a one-person game.
Yeah, I like to play tug of war with myself. I kind of go back and forth.
Yes, exactly. Your favorite song is by Eric Carmen, All by Myself.
That's a really sad song.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So is Alone Again, Naturally.
Yes, by Gilbert O'Sullivan.
Yes.
And coming in at number 1, the top 5 signs that you're a lonely person. Coming in at number 1 is you're used to playing tennis all by yourself.
All by yourself.
Yes.
Imagine that. And,
Yes.
a song for the morning, too. You mentioned earlier, One, the loneliest number,
Yeah.
of course.
One, the loneliest number.
Another very kind of a sad, lonely song.
Yep. And the band played on. We're coming up on 7 o'clock right here at WSTU Stewart, Martin County's Heritage Station. The news is coming up next, and then we'll have hour number 2. And don't forget, Superintendent of Martin County Schools is going to be joining us in the 8 o'clock hour as well. So, as they say, stick and stay and don't go away. We'll be right back. Band will take us all the way to the news.
On air, online, covering the Treasure Coast. Get connected to the Get Up and Go Show. And now here's your host, Evan and Bonnie.
Distancing. The new season of The Bachelor will be held on two sides of a Southern California canyon. Here's a sneak preview.
Hey, I'm Dak.
Hi, I'm Hannah number 5.
You look hot.
You look real hot. Is that your bare chest?
No, I'm wearing a tan shirt.
Oh.
Hey, who's that?
Who?
The redhead. Move. Hey, I'm Dak.
Oh, fine. Talk to her then, jerk.
Don't miss the new season of The Bachelor.
Ooh, who's the blonde?
Social Distancing Canyon.
Hey, I'm Dak.
All this month, and maybe next month, on ABC.
Do you imagine if they did The Bachelor like that?
Could you? I mean, if
Right.
I were to be on The Bachelor, I would probably want to have it that way, with all of the, the cattiness that goes on in the show, and the girls not getting along and fighting over the one boy.
I just can't get into watching that show. It's like a cat fight made to happen.
Yeah.
And then before you know it, it's a battle royal and it's a slobber knocker and all sorts of stuff.
I think my favorite part of the show, though, Evan, is probably like the first part when they have rolling and the girls or the guys all get out of the limo and kind of introduce themselves and tell like where they're from and what they do for a living.
Yeah, it's like kind of how many clowns you can fit into one limousine. Like the clowns coming out of the Volkswagen.
Yeah.
Same thing.
I like to go, oh, she's going to win. Oh, he's going to win. She's pretty cute. He's pretty hot. I like to like just watch that part of it and just make my judgment early.
Yeah, and then it's like who can bash? It's like who can bash who, as far as that goes. Hi, good morning. You're on the.
Evan, you don't like The Bachelor or The Bachelorette. What's wrong with you?
No, I know I don't, Phil, but that's besides the point.
It's about romance, dude. You don't like romance?
No, I'm not a romantic guy. I'm not a romantic kind of guy. Just not happening.
Phil,
Not happening.
Phil, when was the
Okay.
last time you watched it? Have you gotten into
Actually, I
it?
watched it last season. Thank you.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, that was last season.
You
Did you
even-
watch it this season?
No, not this season. I did. For whatever reason, I just couldn't get around to watching it. I think it's all in the DVR, though.
Yeah, I think you're still in the Fantasy Island era.
Wait, Mr. Rourke here? What is
The
it?
plane.
Phil's watching, he watches The Bachelor. He's checking out his feminine side.
Yeah, getting in tune
that's
with his
it,
female
yeah.
side.
Yes. He even has me beat because I didn't watch it last year. I don't think I've watched it like in the last 5 or 6 years. So
Yeah,
Phil, you
I
have me
kinda
beat.
dig it. It's cool.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, so what'd you do this weekend?
Let's see. I worked. That's
Okay.
about it.
And then
Yeah.
some.
And then some, and then now I'm getting geared up. My son's coming down next week, and then he'll be down for a couple of weeks for
All
a
right.
while.
Okay.
And then he turns 21, so we're going to have a little 21st birthday party for him.
All right. So that means we have to. When does he turn 21? Is it?
Oh, not till July, but he
Oh,
can
then
come
we
down in
can't
July.
give him a drink when I come over for dinner in 2 weeks.
It doesn't
Yeah,
sound
right?
like you're going to have a keg party for him.
No.
No, unfortunately not. No keg party for him.
That's probably
So-
the smart thing, though, the wise thing
So
to do.
Phil, you left the most important element out of what you did this weekend.
What?
Well, Marcel was over for dinner.
Oh, yeah, Marcel came over for dinner. Yep, as always.
You can't forget about Marcel,
No.
Captain
no.
Filet Mignon, all the way.
Yeah, good filet mignon, too. It was
Yeah.
on sale, too. It was great.
Was it really?
Yeah.
Where do you get your filet at?
We got it at, what do we call oh, good Lord. I just drew a blank. It was.
Well, that's normal for the course.
Yeah.
Is it a pound there?
It was like $8 something a pound.
Oh,
$8 and change a pound?
Yep. It was on sale. My wife grabbed a whole thing of it. Yeah.
Wait a minute. She actually bought a whole filet?
Basically, yeah.
Wow. I thought she would never do that.
Well, she knows she does it, but it depends. If sometimes the sliced up one's cheaper than the full thing. So
where's Trader Joe's at?
We don't have one here.
Yeah.
Oh, there's one in Tommy Kearns.
You're going to have to text me the address because I think I may just have to take a ride
Take a drive.
when I get out of here.
It sounds worth it. Do they have other meats there
Yeah,
too?
filet mignon is $8 and change a pound. I know where I'm going when I get out of here.
Yeah. I think it was a full fillet because it was. No, I'm lying to you. It was already cut up. I'm sorry. It was.
But
already
still,
cut
if
up,
it's $8 and change a pound,
yeah,
that's cheaper than New York strip and ribeye.
yeah, you're right. No, she got a good deal on it.
I have to have a
So
conversation with her about
she's
this.
already getting it for the big dinner coming up here in 2 weeks.
Oh, wow. So we're going to be eating filet mignon for the big dinner.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, boy. I'm not going to eat all day.
The last
Dang.
the last
room,
steak
right?
that I made were New York strips, and I got them from Winn-Dixie,
This
and
is gonna be
they
like-
were really good.
It's going to be like the Last Supper.
The Last Supper,
What?
yeah,
Winn-Dixie still open?
it is. They are. They have. I go in there for the BOGOs, and once in a while they had New York strips. I got I think there were 5 big long ones in a package. $13. I paid
5 big long ones?
Yeah.
Wow.
New York strips,
Wow,
and
okay.
for only $13. And then I was able to cook a dinner for 3. This was over a week ago, and
Yeah.
was able to freeze the rest
Okay.
for
Nice.
future.
George
Yeah.
just
Nice.
messaged us. He said he was at Trader Joe's when he was down visiting last time.
Was he?
God, you sound like you got a party going on over there, Phil. My gosh.
It's called a back room of a grocery store.
All right. Well, go on and finish what you're doing, and we will check in with you.
You get me 3 days this week, aren't you?
I know. Well, yeah, that's right. Phil's going to be with us
Yeah.
Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday.
Joining us 3 days in
So
a
by
row.
Thursday, we're going to be
Yeah.
slapping him silly.
Now I got to figure out what to do next week because where I normally do the show from in the
Yeah.
house is usually in Philip's old bedroom, my son. So I got to figure when he's in there, I can't get up at 6 o'clock in the morning and do a radio show while he's sleeping. So I got to figure out somewhere else in the house.
Wake
I
him
have
up.
the perfect solution.
Wake him up,
Go out to the back patio by the pool, and there you go.
or wake him up and have him come on the show with you. I mean, the more the merrier, right?
Well, that's what we should do, Evan, is bring him on the show.
Sure, why not?
Studio and have him do his first radio show.
He
Sure,
can do
why
a
not?
sleepy yawn for us from
Phil
his
Jr.
bedroom.
Just do the show from the pool area. That would be kind of cool,
Yeah,
That'd be awesome.
right?
The
Mimosas.
poolside edition.
I would be
Yes.
so jealous. I would want to come over to that area and
And then-
broadcast from there too.
Then you could put a top 10 together about top 10 reasons why you shouldn't jump in the pool at 5 in the morning.
Yeah, right.
Think
Well, I
about
already
that.
did. I already did a pool top 10 last week. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
You know.
All
we
right,
gotta
sounds
figure-
good.
We'll figure something out. Maybe we'll do a summer top 10 list.
All right, that sounds good. Listen, have a great day, and we will
All right.
check in with you a little later. Text me the address of Trader Joe's if you would. All
Okay, no problem.
right, say goodnight, Phil.
All right, good night. Bye.
It sounds like a party over
It
there at the
does.
store.
Yeah, definitely a party. Starting to get text messages from people. They're saying, "Where's the birthdays? Where's the anniversaries?" Like, people actually listen to this stuff.
And you know what, Evan? I have somebody to say happy anniversary to
You
this
do?
morning. Yeah,
Wait, before you do it, are they local?
they are.
Where are they from?
They are from Port St. Lucie.
Are they good friends of yours?
Gary and I, our beautiful niece, is celebrating her first wedding anniversary. Gosh, I can't believe it's been a year ago, June,
Really?
that we attended the wedding of this beautiful couple.
Where was it at?
Okay, so it's in Port St. Lucie, and it's the area of Westmoreland. It's
Okay.
that beautiful new kind of park that is like, say, if you take a right off of Port St. Lucie Boulevard, if you're heading east, it's off there in
Botanical Gardens.
That's it. Thank
Yeah,
you.
I've done many weddings
I don't
there.
know why I couldn't remember the name
Behind
of
the
it.
McDonald's.
Botanical Gardens.
Yeah.
It's kind of like there was like a nice bridge
Uh-huh.
over like a beautiful
Yeah, I know exactly what it is.
river, woodsy
Yeah, the
setting.
ceremony they do on the lily pad,
Yeah.
on the little pad area, and then you sit across the water and
But-
you watch it.
Happy anniversary to
Wow.
Ronaldo and Sarah Maycock.
Do you have their phone number?
Gary has it in his phone. I don't
on.
carry all these.
I gotta
don't-
I gotta call somebody.
I don't like. I'm not calling people all the time when I get off the air. So,
I gotta call somebody and wish them a happy anniversary.
but this beautiful couple, I just wanted to say
All right.
happy. Can't
Well,
believe it's been
happy
a whole
1
year.
Happy 1 year.
Yeah.
Happy 1 year.
Yeah, and
Tom
many more.
Tom Holland, the only Spider-Man who can say he made it in the MCU is 24 years old. Amy Schumer, 39 years old.
Do you like her comedy?
She's all right. She's not bad.
She's very funny, but she can get on the too nasty and dirty side for me. I don't mean to sound like a prude.
You're not a prude. You're far from a prude. Maybe an orange, but not a prude. There's not a prune.
A prune. I was getting confused with prune.
Okay. Yeah, sorry about that. I call you a prune.
Gonna do some pruning
Did I
now.
just called you a prune?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
That's
I
okay.
apologize.
That's okay.
It's better than an apple, but then again, you could be the apple in my eye because aren't you glad that you're here?
I am.
Did you get the way you made all those metaphors right there?
That
right?
was just beautiful.
Thank you.
You did that so beautifully.
Trying to be creative.
We should play the harp now. That was so beautiful.
The harp. What does the harp have to do with anything? Maybe I'll call the Harp Twins. I actually know them. They're a set of twin girls. They're blonde.
Really?
And they do harp concerts to covers, and they're phenomenal.
They do harp.
Yeah. Google the Harp Twins.
Okay.
Seriously, Google the Harp Twins on YouTube.
Do they sing?
It's going to blow you away. They don't sing. It's all done on the harp.
You're kidding me.
Two girls play the harp. Yeah. Amazing. Amazing girls.
All right.
Amazing girls. Heidi Klum is 47. Alanis Morissette, 46.
46 today.
46.
She
yes.
was, she was doing some stuff not too long ago. She was going out on tour again with her like a Jagged Little Pill tour. And I think she came to play right down here in the West Palm Beach area not too long ago.
All right. Does the name David Berkowitz ring a bell?
David Berkowitz does, but why can't I put a finger on it?
Because you don't want to. Son of Sam is who he is. He's a serial killer who murdered 6 people in New York in the mid-70s. He is still living off the taxpayers' money at the Sullivan Correctional Facility in Fallsburg, New York.
Mm-hmm.
Ronnie Dunn of the country group Brooks and Dunn, 67 years old today. Some of the hits: Neon Moon, Boot Scootin' Boogie, Cowgirls Don't Cry, Hillbilly Deluxe, Believe, and My Maria, one of my favorites.
My Maria, is that a remake of the B.W. Stevenson My Maria?
Yes.
It is a remake.
Yep.
By Brooks and Dunn. I haven't heard that remake.
You've never heard My Maria? Oh my.
By B.W. Stevenson. I've heard the original,
Okay.
but I didn't hear Brooks and Dunn do the remake.
Great.
Good job on it.
Yes, really good. Morgan Freeman is 83 years old today. I love Morgan Freeman.
I do too.
Guy's amazing.
Yeah, yeah.
Pat Boone, 86 years old today. Back in the 50s, a young version of Elvis Presley used to open for Pat Boone way back in the day. How about that one?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's wild.
Yeah. Celebrating birthdays in the heavens. Good old Andy Griffith.
I still like to watch the Andy Griffith show.
Right.
Do
Right?
you too?
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
With little Opie on it.
Yeah, little Opie.
Yeah.
Marilyn Monroe celebrating a birthday in the heavens. Wow. Can't believe that.
She was a June 1st birthday, huh?
Yeah.
I envy people who have birthdays on June 1st.
Yep.
It's like, what a happy time, like the spirit of it all, especially like if you're a little kid,
Yeah.
to have that birthday, the first of summertime.
Yeah, and the first day of hurricane season.
Oh, I forget that.
Yeah, we
too.
don't want to talk about that
See,
one.
you had to spoil it.
Yeah. Well, you asked. You got it.
Yeah.
Toyota. 20 days until Father's Day, 33 days till Independence Day, and 95 days until the Labor Day weekend.
Mm-hmm.
So there it is. There you have your birthdays, anniversaries, and back in the day. The band started to play for some reason, and I cut them off. Wasn't their cue to play. They're
going to be ornery
They
at
need
you
to-
now.
Yeah, they need to get their act together in there. Fredo's not here to lead them, so they're kind of messing up a little bit.
Uh-oh.
7:21 right now. It's news time. Let's go to the news desk where Bonnie's standing by. Good morning, Bonnie.
Good morning, Evan. Protesters marched across the Stewart Bridge Sunday afternoon as a show of solidarity for Black lives. The protest along the Roosevelt Bridge was peaceful, a stark contrast to the protests that took place throughout the country in response to the death of George Floyd, the Minnesota man who died after a police officer placed his knee on the man's neck for nearly 9 minutes. Protesters held signs and chanted, "No justice, no peace," and "Black Lives Matter." One sign read, "Don't kill us, then ask for peace." Before crossing the bridge, the protesters gathered to listen to church leaders and other speakers, including Denver Broncos safety Justin Simmons. And a group of protesters gathered Sunday in Indian River County across from the Indian River County Sheriff's Office facility. People stood on both sides of the road holding signs and listening to speakers address the crowd through a loudspeaker. The peaceful protest is in response to that death of George Floyd, the man who died while in Minnesota police custody. WPTV's Dave Bowman has more from Vero Beach.
Just wanted to come together in solidarity for George Floyd.
Demonstrators are 1,400 miles from Minneapolis, where George Floyd died after a police officer knelt on his neck.
I can't breathe. I can't breathe.
But Floyd's death hit home with those who lined Vero Beach's 41st Street.
I can't breathe. I can't breathe. I can't breathe. We just want fair policing and equality, and that Black people just want equal treatment.
Vero Beach native and former NFL football player Dale Dawkins says Indian River County law enforcement needs to build relations with the Black community.
I think the ones that's policing our areas need to get out and walk the streets a little bit more, shake some hands.
Hands up, don't shoot. Hands up, don't shoot. Hands up, don't shoot.
At its peak, the rally had more than 150 people here, but never once did it teeter on getting out of control. That's a contrast to a protest 80 miles away in Orlando where demonstrators shut down a street.
I can't breathe.
Vero Beach High School senior Amanda Gomez was at that event, too.
In Orlando, the goal was to kind of shut down the city, and here that's not the cause. We are just standing peacefully.
Let's not watch Black lives being lost live on camera and then no consequences.
Marshawn Green says African Americans in Indian River County have been victims of police brutality before, but she sees this protest as a starting point of something different.
And wanting equal treatment doesn't stand for hate. You know, it's just saying, hey, we want to live, we want to feel that we're being protected and served as well.
Don't shoot!
In Vero Beach, Dave Bowman, WPTV News Channel 5.
The 2020 Atlantic hurricane season begins today, and big question, is your home ready?
This is the time to secure your home and your property. Finish trimming back any trees and be sure to clear away any yard debris or loose gutters, which could all become airborne during a storm.
And shortly after a peaceful protest concluded Sunday in downtown West Palm Beach, some protesters marched along Interstate 95, holding signs as Florida Highway Patrol troopers and Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office deputies wearing protective gear stood in their way. Hundreds of people converged near Rosemary Square and Marehead through the city in a rally billed as No Justice, No Peace. An organized and diverse group of protesters were chanting No Justice, No Peace, and Black Lives Matter while holding signs that read, I Can't Breathe, and Justice for Floyd. WPTV's Linny Supal has more from Rosemary Square in West Palm Beach.
Are in Rosemary Square. This is where that demonstration began, very peacefully and marching for hours through the streets of downtown West Palm Beach. That demonstration continues at this hour. And as you just mentioned, they went into the streets, the major artery of West Palm Beach, blocking off Okeechobee Boulevard at Rosemary Avenue and kneeling for 8 minutes in honor of George Floyd, the man who was killed at the hands of police in Minneapolis last week. Since then, we've seen demonstrations spark across the country, some turning violent. Here in Palm Beach County, they have remained spirited but peaceful, and organizers say they hope that conversation will continue.
We don't have to burn the city down. I know a lot of people expect the police to burn the city down. We don't have to, but we're going to fight this good fight because we didn't come from the ancestors, and I'm going to keep on saying that. So this fight, that speech, it means everything to me. It means everything to us. That's why we're out here.
And of course, we'll have more from the conversation throughout the evening. West Palm Beach police monitoring the situation, but said that this is their First Amendment right and that they will defend their right to protest. Reporting live in downtown West Palm Beach, Lenny Supal, WPTV News Channel 5.
PGA Golf returns this month. The first event is the Charles Schwab Challenge that starts June 11th. 15 of the top 20 players in the world will be there. Our news time is 7:27. Weather and traffic together are next.
7:27 the time of the Get Up and Go show with Evan and Bonnie. It's time for traffic and weather together, all brought to you by Code Red Roofers. Bonnie?
Port St. Lucie has a clear sky this morning and 75. Here's our forecast at WPTV. And we don't have any accidents to report right here, and we are accident-free. Monday morning is looking clear. The roads are looking fine, Evan. There's your latest look at traffic.
It is a warm and humid morning here on the Treasure Coast with a slight chance for some patchy fog and a few coastal showers this afternoon. Very warm with high temperatures in the mid to upper 80s and breezy easterly winds. Rain chances are lower along the coast and a little higher inland with a few showers and thunderstorms possible around Lake Okeechobee. I'm WPTV First Alert meteorologist Glenn Glazer on WSTU AM 1450, Martin County's Heritage Station.
You're listening to the Get Up and Go show with Evan and Bonnie on Martin County's Heritage Station, AM 1450 WSTU. Now let's get back to the program with Evan and Bonnie.
Is it becoming increasingly difficult to get your friends and neighbors to maintain proper social distancing? Well, those days are over with this. It's new. Social distancing in a bottle. That's right. We've taken the essence of cow dung, spoiled milk, and the sweat of an overweight carnival worker to create the world's most offensive odor. Just apply a single drop behind the ears and knees and watch your friends and neighbors run for the hills. And if you act now, we'll throw in a bottle of new extra strength social distancing in a bottle with just a whiff of toe jam.
Ew.
It's social distancing in a bottle. To order yours today, go to SeriousStank.com. That's SeriousStank.com. Remember, the best way to stay safe is to stay stinky.
I think we had a little bit of that when we walked in here this morning, didn't we?
There's a really weird odor
There's
in
a
this.
funk in the studio this
Yeah.
morning. I don't know what it is. We can't seem to put our finger on it, but it smelled like something crawled up in a corner and died.
Like that, or I thought of maybe too spoiled milk almost. And then I
Trash
found
cans are empty, so it's not the trash cans.
we did find a rotten apple in here
Yeah.
that's been,
I wonder if the rotten apple could be causing that.
I wonder if one little apple could be permeating that kind of odor throughout the
I don't know.
entire
Luckily,
studio.
thank God for these air fresheners that I have.
Yeah.
I'm going to go pick a couple of more of them up at Walmart today. Don't put that too close to your nose because it's strong.
It is. Oh, that's nice. It's kind of like
You like that?
That has the essence of Christmas.
Don't smell too much; it'll give you a buzz.
I'm smelling Christmas in that candle.
People are
that
going to start thinking you're
freshener.
snorting air freshener or something.
That's what I do when I go to the store. I'm
You
constantly,
snort air freshener?
I'm constantly whiffing candles. I'm a candle smeller.
Are you really?
It's hard to get me away from the candle aisle because I've got to sniff the essence of every single one.
Wow. Okay. All right. Well, just don't be sniffing it.
And now it's time for Stupid News,
It's so stupid and awesome.
where we ask the important questions.
Are some people too stupid to live?
Why are people so stupid?
Are you effing stupid?
You don't want to get me started on stupid news this morning because I could give you a list of stupid things that are a mile long, but I'm not going there. I said I wouldn't go there, so I'm not going there. So we'll get to other stupid news that we normally talk about. This in Los Angeles, where police responded to a city street on a report of a body in the road. Okay, but when the police arrived to find the supposed corpse was actually a mannequin. Okay. Somebody had reported seeing someone throw a body out of a moving vehicle and drive away without stopping. The person's license plate was given to police when they arrived on the scene to find the mannequin in the street. Police ran the tag, got the person's address, and they drove to the person's home to find out that the man who dumped the mannequin told police he was having an affair with the mannequin.
Oh, my.
He got into a fight with the mannequin.
Thank goodness it was only a mannequin, though, that he threw out the car window.
When he told the mannequin to get out of the car and the mannequin said the mannequin refused, he decided to go around the passenger door and drag the mannequin out of the car door.
Wow.
Dump it in the street.
I thought, when
you can't make this stuff up.
When you started the story, I instantly thought that maybe he dumped a mannequin out of his car window, maybe to go and do another crime and get away with something else.
No.
Throw that mannequin outside and maybe have the police come after that and check it out and then go rob a bank. That's what I thought maybe he was planning to do something else and using that mannequin as some sort of a decoy.
Note to self, don't get in a fight with a mannequin and drag it out of the car. You don't have a mannequin laying around anywhere in your house, do you?
I don't have one, no. But it reminds me of that episode of 2.5 Men where Rose, the next door neighbor, had a mannequin.
Okay.
And his name was Manny.
Manny? Okay. Manny the mannequin. Okay. Oh, interesting.
Yeah. And she would try to pretend that he was her husband and to throw throw Charlie off, Charlie Sheen, to have Charlie come over and see this mannequin inside the house and think that was going to be her future husband, that she was dating the mannequin.
Nice. Bonnie, you ever been on a long haul flight from coast to coast? You ever done one of those?
Coast to coast.
Coast to coast, east to west.
No, the longest flight I did was from Madison, Wisconsin to LA.
Okay. So long haul flights often mean that relying on the airplane food to get you through, and standards can differ drastically depending on who you choose to fly. So many of us, when we fly, we stock up on snacks in the airport, hoping that the overpriced packet of crisps and a few sweets is all our bodies will need for the next 24 hours. So having pizza on board is nothing but a distant dream for most of us, but one passenger who clearly prepared in advance appears to have saved a slice as a mid-journey snack. So the guy bought pizza and down the gangway or in the terminal.
Yeah.
And then he brought a piece on the plane. It was cold and he wanted to heat it up. So you know what he did? Turned on the light above and held the pizza up to the light. Instead of eating it cold, he used the light. everybody took out their cell phones and started filming.
Right.
Videos gone viral.
I hope he was able to warm up the pizza that way.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't see how hot he could make it, but maybe it turned out lukewarm or something.
I have
don't
no
know.
idea. But that was his way of, I guess, a microwave in the sky.
Yeah, I guess.
A lady by the name of Shannon Butt, okay, from the UK, did what a lot of people do when they take a nice picture of themselves. She shared it online. Now, however, soon after uploading the picture to social media, Shannon and her friend noticed something in the reflection of the mirror in the background. Looking closer, Shannon realized you could see the reflection of her boyfriend, Henry, wiping his arse after going to the bathroom.
Oh, I read that story this
Right?
weekend.
Yeah, it seems like Shannon wasn't the only butt in the photo. Her real name is Shannon Butt. After her friends encouraged her to share the hilarious photo on Twitter, and after asking Henry if he minded, Shannon did just that. And Henry's arse made it on Twitter's debut, trending in one day with 70,000 likes.
Well, maybe if they get married now, he should take her last name and should be
Yes.
Henry Butt.
Henry Butt. Henry Butt what? There you go. That's what happens in the UK. The police in Altoona, Pennsylvania, got a call last week about a domestic dispute. This is not any ordinary domestic dispute. And when they got there, they found a 41-year-old woman had gotten into an argument with her 20-year-old kid because she had disconnected the Wi-Fi. He was so ticked off that he cut the power to the entire house.
Wow.
Went outside and cut the power to the house.
Oh, gee.
Yeah. And then the fight got physical.
Yeah.
Mom and the kid and the son's girlfriend all got citations for harassment and notices to appear in court.
You know, why don't I find that hard to believe? You know, does the Wi-Fi ever go off in your house, Evan?
It does.
I mean, don't you feel a
I
little
feel
bit?
I feel violated when it happens. Sorry, I take it personal.
I know.
You cut my Wi-Fi, I feel violated.
People in our household too. They really seem to take it personal as well when
Yeah.
that Wi-Fi goes down.
Yeah,
and-
when Wi-Fi goes down, the internet goes down, I feel like somebody is taking my lifeline away from me.
yeah. You,
So-
you hear some rhymes with itching in my home.
Yeah. That's all right. You can say that word on the air.
I didn't know.
Yeah, you could say it because it's
Okay.
classified as a female dog.
Ah.
So yeah, people are bitching. There you go. I said it for you.
Okay.
See, there's certain words
Gee,
you can say and
thanks.
certain words you can't.
Gee, thanks, Evan.
Exactly. I'll watch for the memo in the next 24 to 48. If I don't get one, then I know I'm okay.
Call me on the phone and let me know if you get one.
Yeah, you incited me to say it. I'll blame it on Bonnie. Kind of like Milli Vanilli, blame it on the rain, the official kings of lip syncing.
And there's been a lot of rain lately.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Let's go to Miramar, Florida, where the police in Miramar are looking for a guy who spent the entire day on Monday vandalizing a high school. Here's the best part about it. He vandalized the high school naked.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, around 8 o'clock in the morning, a naked guy broke into Miramar High School, which is closed because of the pandemic, and he was inside the school until 6 a.m. the next day. Tuesday, he was destroying the place.
That's horrible.
Over 22 hours, he broke computers, sprayed graffiti, and flooded parts of the school. He wound up doing about $100,000 in damage.
Wow.
Cops have surveillance footage of him, and they're asking for the public's help to identify who the person is. It's not clear if he was a student or any connection to the school, or why in God's name this guy was naked.
You ever hear of those people that have those dreams of walking through the halls of their high school naked?
Yeah.
Yeah. I've never had that dream before, however. Thank goodness.
If you go to that beach that I told you about, you'll see plenty of naked people.
Oh, yeah.
You'll get your eyes full.
Uh-huh. Maybe he's hanging out there to, go and hide and kind of get lost in the crowd, a naked crowd.
Yeah, definitely so. There's a band called Naked Eyes, isn't there?
Yeah, there is.
Yeah,
Always something there to remind me.
Okay. Let's go to Monroe County, where sheriff's deputies arrested a Monroe man on 2 counts of possession of a Schedule II drug last week after a complainant notified authorities that her prescription medication was stolen. The complainant said she gave her brother a ride to her mother's home. While she went inside, her brother went back out to the car to locate his cell phone. When the complainant left, she noticed her purse was open and was missing approximately 47 Adderall tablets from her prescription bottle. The complainant confronted her brother over the phone. He got very defensive and started yelling profanities at her. Deputies made contact with the brother at his mother's home where he lives. During questioning, the brother denied using any type of Adderall medication. The brother stated he had only used heroin, and that's all he uses. That was his drug of choice.
Only heroin.
Only heroin. He
Wow.
proceeded to bring out needles to show the deputies that he does use heroin, and then he was arrested for possession of drug paraphernalia.
That could be like a really scary situation if somebody like stole your prescription, like a whole bottle of something.
Yep.
I would be terrified.
Yep. Finally, let's go to Japan. All right. How about that? Let's go across halfway around the world. Thrill seekers in Japan will soon get to enjoy their favorite roller coasters again now that the amusement parks around the country are reopening. But there's one caveat to that. One request that they might have struggling with. You can't scream on the roller coaster.
You can't scream.
No screaming.
Really? And
Because that projects when you open your mouth.
Yeah.
You spit.
You know what? My stepkids are going to Universal actually on Wednesday.
Okay.
And they reopened. I wonder if you can scream on some of those rides at Universal. I wonder if they're allowing that there.
We'll have to look for a sign.
Yeah.
It says no screaming.
But I guess that kind of makes sense.
But yeah, with Japan lifting the state of emergency this week, a group of major theme park operators have introduced a set of guidelines on how to ensure the safety of both the guests and the staff in the face of COVID-19. And the main rule is no screaming on roller coasters.
Yeah, but
no screaming.
Now what? Okay, so what if they like get to the climax of the ride? Like there was a ride that I went on at Disneyland out in Anaheim, California, and that roller coaster was terrifying because you go through this like cave. I'm trying to remember what this. Anyway, at the end it had
in Disney World.
Disneyland.
Okay.
It's like Disney World, the original, the first one that opened in Anaheim, California is where I went. But it had such a huge drop at the end. I'm saying several hundred feet you dropped off of like a side of a mountain.
Wasn't Thunder Mountain, was it?
I think it might have been.
Okay. They have that in Disney World here in Orlando.
And how do you not go down a roller coaster like that and with that terrifying drop at the end and not scream?
You just close your eyes and pray. That's all I can say.
I mean, and then they take the pictures, right? When you get off the ride, they offer you the picture.
Yeah, smile, say cheese.
I'm sure they're going to, how can they even enforce that? They're going to have those pictures of like everybody screaming in that coaster, I bet.
I have no idea. But if you go to Japan and you're going to a theme park, no screaming.
Wow.
That's the rules.
Amazing.
Like it, love it, or leave it.
I would be terrified to go on the roller coaster there just for the idea I'd be screaming.
7:45, it's news time. Let's go to the news desk where Bonnie's standing by. Good morning, Bonnie.
Good morning, Evan. Protesters marched across a Stewart Bridge yesterday afternoon as a show of solidarity for Black lives. The protest along the Roosevelt Bridge was peaceful, a stark contrast to the protests that took place throughout the country in response to the death of George Floyd, the Minnesota man who died after a police officer placed his knee on the man's neck for nearly 9 minutes. Protesters held signs and chanted, "No justice, no peace," and Black Lives Matter. Before crossing the bridge, the protesters gathered to listen to church leaders and other speakers, including Denver Broncos safety Justin Simmons. And a group of protesters, too, gathered yesterday in Indian River County across from the Indian River County Sheriff's Office facility. People stood on both sides of the road holding signs and listening to speakers address the crowd through a loudspeaker. WPTV's Dave Bowman has more from Vero Beach.
Wanted to come together in solidarity for George Floyd.
Demonstrators are 1,400 miles from Minneapolis, where George Floyd died after a police officer knelt on his neck.
I can't breathe. I can't breathe.
But Floyd's death hit home with those who lined Vero Beach's 41st Street.
I can't breathe. I can't breathe. I can't breathe.
We just want fair policing and equality, and that that Black people just want equal treatment.
Vero Beach native and former NFL football player Dale Dawkins says Indian River County law enforcement needs to build relations with the Black community.
I think the ones that's policing our areas need to get out and walk the streets a little bit more, shake some hands.
Hands up, don't shoot! Hands up, don't shoot! Hands up, don't shoot!
At its peak, the rally had more than 150 people here, but never once did it teeter on getting out of control. That's a contrast to a protest 80 miles away in Orlando where demonstrators shut down a street.
I can't breathe!
Vero Beach High School senior Amanda Gomez was at that event, too.
In Orlando, the goal was to kind of shut down the city, and here that's not the cause. We are just standing peacefully.
Let's not watch Black lives being lost live on camera and then no consequences.
Marshawn Green says African Americans in Indian River County have been victims of police brutality before, but she sees this protest as a starting point of something different.
And wanting equal treatment doesn't stand for hate. You know, it's just saying, hey, we want to live, we want to feel that we're being protected and served as well.
Don't shoot!
In Vero Beach, Dave Bowman, WPTV News Channel 5.
West Palm Beach Mayor Keith James issued a nighttime curfew Sunday in the city. The curfew is in effect nightly from 9 p.m. until 6 a.m. for the next 72 hours, unless the city extends it or terminates it before that time. Once again, WPTV's Dave Bowman was at West Palm Beach demonstration last night with this.
What we're seeing is a number of the people have been dispersed. Most of them went headed westward on Clematis Street. We heard a bang. We don't know if it was tear gas. We don't know exactly what it was. But there was a dispersal and a number of people kept running from the scene. These were people that were protesting all day long. We still see a few people at the scene with their hands raised up. That a common gesture of what we've seen today. Many of these people were part of the group that took over I-95 and stopped everything right there. In the meantime, we've seen people disperse. The situation obviously very fluid right now. We don't know if the protesters have gone and met together or they've gone in their own direction, but it was more spontaneous, or at least it appeared more spontaneous and organized. And right now, West Palm Beach police have responded in twofold. Number one, by declaring a curfew at 9 o'clock. That happened actually about 15 minutes ago. And number two, doing something. We heard the sound of a concussion, like the firing of a canister or something else, that got the crowd going in various different ways. Right now, there's still a lot of people down here, but there's not much organization to it. Dave Bowman, WPTV News Channel 5.
A 32-year-old motorcyclist was killed in a crash in Jensen Beach Friday afternoon. The crash happened at 5:21 p.m. on southbound US 1, just south of Jensen Beach Boulevard. According to the Florida Highway Patrol, a vehicle driven by a 19-year-old Port St. Lucie woman was traveling northbound on US 1 and turning left into the Jensen Beach Mall access road when the male motorcyclist traveling southbound on US 1 collided with her vehicle. The unidentified motorcyclist from Bradley, Illinois, was not wearing a helmet at the time of the crash. He was transported to Martin Memorial Hospital, where he was pronounced dead. The female driver suffered minor injuries. The crash is under investigation. And now, time for sports. Roger Federer has taken over as the highest paid athlete in Forbes' annual earnings report, topping Cristiano Ronaldo and Lionel Messi, who have held the number one spot in 3 of the past 4 years. Federer earned $106 million pre-tax, edging out Ronaldo by about $1 million to take over number one. News time is 7:51. Weather and traffic together are next.
7:53 right now on the Get Up and Go show with Evan and Bonnie. It's time for traffic and weather together, brought to you by Code Red Roofers. Bonnie?
Well, we don't have any traffic accidents to report. All well on the highways. Major highways are clear. US 1 moving smoothly this morning. There's your latest look at traffic. On the warm side here, 77 in Palm City. Here's our forecast at WPTV.
It is a warm and humid morning here on the Treasure Coast with a slight chance for some patchy fog and a few coastal showers this afternoon. Very warm with high temperatures in the mid to upper 80s and breezy easterly winds. Rain chances are lower along and a little higher inland with a few showers and thunderstorms possible around Lake Okeechobee. I'm WPTV First Alert meteorologist Glenn Glazer on WSTU AM 1450, Martin County's Heritage Station.
You're listening to the Get Up and Go show with Evan and Bonnie on Martin County's Heritage Station, AM 1450 WSTU. Now let's get back to the program with Evan and Bonnie.
Waiting for the band to start. They were a little late on cue. I'm gonna have to call Fredo up. You know, they're slacking without Fredo.
There wasn't too much dead air.
I would
give them a break.
It's got to be perfect. It's got to be perfect.
Well, they're sounding good anyway.
Yeah, they're not too bad. They're sounding good. I'll let them play on. 7:57 on the Get Up and Go show coming up in the 8 o'clock hour. The superintendent of the Martin County School Board is going to be here, Lori J. Gaylord. Boy, she's got a lot of talking points.
I'm sure that she does.
Yeah, a lot of good stuff.
We're going to find out maybe like how they're rolling with the school graduations and maybe when they're going to be getting back to school this year. Mm-hmm. Find out all that good stuff.
They gave me a mile-long list, as you can see here. Yep, lots of stuff to talk about. Lots of stuff. So anyway, what was I going to talk about? I totally forgot. Completely went off topic. What did I want to talk about? Oh, I know what I meant to ask you. Did you know that 50% of cereal brands are discontinued after 5 years?
50% of
Yeah.
them.
Do you remember a cereal brand that you used to eat as a child, and as you grew up, it just like stopped being, wasn't around no more?
I'm trying to think of any. I know Post cereal is still around. That's been around for decades.
Yeah.
I can't think of a brand coming to my mind
Yeah.
that maybe General Mills. Is that still around?
Well, that's a brand, yeah, but there's the names of cereals.
Oh, like Fruit
like
Loops
Fruit
and
Loops, yeah.
Fruity Pebbles.
Yeah.
Uh,
So remember how I said before a moment ago, I lost my train of thought what I was going to talk about?
I thought of one, Evan.
All right, tell me.
Cookie Crisp, right?
That's still around.
Is it?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
See,
Still around.
I haven't been buying a lot of those sugary cereals. I know Raisin Bran is because I bought that just last week.
Yeah, Raisin Bran is pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely so. Like I said before, I lost my train of thought, right?
Yeah.
So my wife texts me and she
Okay.
says, well, you could talk about how wonderful your wife is. Well, I already know that. I already know how wonderful she is. And Thomas just chimed in about the cereal brand, and he mentioned Post Toasties. I never heard of Post Toasties
Now,
before.
yes, I've heard of the Post Toasties, and maybe I don't know. Thomas might know more than I. Maybe that's
Post Toasties.
That's a brand that's not around.
Never heard
anymore.
of Post Toasties.
No.
Toasty Posties, maybe, but not Toast Post. I don't know. I never heard of that before.
Yeah.
All right. We got to step back for a moment. We're WSTU Stewart, Martin County's Heritage Station. The news is coming up next. Don't go anywhere.
On the air, online, covering the Treasure Coast. Get connected with the Get Up and Go show. And now here's your hosts, Evan and Bonnie.
.806 on the Get Up and Go show with Evan and Bonnie. It's the Monday edition. And joining us on our line right now is the superintendent of the Martin County School System, Lori Gaylord's joining us. Good morning, Lori. How you doing?
Good morning. I'm fine, thank you. How are you all
Hey,
this
thanks
morning?
for waking up early and getting with us. As we missed you last week. Of course, it was a holiday, so we really didn't have anything to discuss. We were off on that day, but now we're back in the saddle, and we're just
gearing up for the official start of summer, correct?
Yeah, summer's cranking. It's June 1st, so it's the official start, and of course, the official start of hurricane season as well.
Don't say
unfortunately,
the H word.
Yeah, we don't say the H word. So since you divulged your retirement on air with us, we were like the first ones to know. How's it been going since you made that announcement before we get into our notes that we're going to talk about today?
Well, I think that, I've received many, kind words from many of the people in the community and our staff, and that's very nice. And, but, we still have business as usual around here. No, it's not business as usual. I should say that it's business as abnormal as it can be.
Yeah.
Moving forward. But, it's kind of a relief for me, a burden off of me to be able to at least have our staff know. It was important for me to let our staff know. And the reason being is so that, it would encourage anyone out there that was considering it if they thought that, the old superintendent, she's going to stay. This way, it really opened the door for them to have as many applicants as they possibly could choose from so that they can choose the best candidate in their search for their appointed superintendent. So, moving forward, we still have a job to do. And like I said, I'll still be here till November. So, I'm looking forward to that day, that's for sure. I'm also looking forward to the day when we don't have to every day talk about COVID-19.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we got a reprieve from that over the weekend with the unfortunate news that's been happening. But I don't want to go there. I don't want to talk about that because it's disheartening. And when I get started on a rant, I'll go on for hours. So I made a promise to my listeners I was not going to touch on that subject or talk about that. I want to keep everything upbeat today. Thursday was the last day of school. Boy, kids must have been happy. Kids must have been sad. I know that my teenager came into me. He goes, "Dad, guess what?" And I'm like, "What?" He goes, "I'm done with school. I'm a senior now."
Oh, that's great. Well, I'm hoping that, we can have as normal as can be year for those students for their senior year, because we know that the seniors this year, it's been disheartening for all of us to be able to have them miss out on their experience of, what we all remember as high school and those moments that, it's the culmination of everything that you've done for the past 13 years, or maybe some of them been in school longer. But yeah, I mean, it's disheartening, but, we've tried to honor them in as many ways as we can. I think that we had to shine the spotlight on seniors and their send-off videos, and we'll look forward to their graduation to walk the stage later in July.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, I'm hoping that we can get back to somewhat of a normal school year for the 2021 school year.
Now, you have some great summer learning materials going on. It's called Stay Sharp, correct?
Absolutely, Stay Sharp. And we know that kids have their laptops, and so what we've done is we've put together a number of summer learning materials for them on the website at www.martinschools.org, which has a plethora of information on that. So www.martinschools.org, but they can find all kinds of activities and materials for them by grade level and by subject area. And so we encourage students to be able to stay sharp this summer and take advantage of those opportunities, because we know that this virtual learning has, as much as some of the students have embraced it, there are students that probably it's not their favorite type of learning, and we understand that and we acknowledge that, and that's why we wanted to provide the activities for them so that they can keep their laptops throughout the summer so that they continue to learn and stay sharp.
I think it's a great thing that the district has allowed the kids to keep those laptops, because those laptops are very crucial, because not every family owns a computer either, right?
Right, right. And I think that many families do have computers in their home, but, you know, we want to make sure that all families had access to a computer. And so deploying those laptops was a really great thing early on for us. And so, you know, and we've seen other counties have collected those laptops, but I think in the spirit of staying sharp for the summer, we wanted to provide those learning activities. And, hey, hats off to our teachers to be able to put together, you know, and our staff here to be able to put together some learning materials for those students to take advantage of.
Lori, and, you know, I'm thinking, too, of some of the parents. How many parents during this school year had to become kind of like the principal and the superintendent in their own homes, and making sure their kids stayed on their studies and stayed their courses?
Yeah, but how does a parent send their child to the dean's office?
They probably say, I am the dean, and the buck stops here.
Go to the principal's office. Okay, let me put my other hat on.
Yeah,
now.
right.
So, right. But, you know, and I think that the parents, too, probably are appreciative of the fact that, okay, well, there's still some opportunities for kids to be able to, you know, like we say, stay sharp. And you know, and that's what I encouraged early on in this whole endeavor, is to be able to try to keep your kids on a schedule so that they don't get so off schedule. And I know in the summer it's hard, but, you know, maybe if there's a little time of the day set aside, that we say, hey, you know, why don't you go half an hour or whatever it is in the morning, maybe, you know, after dinner before, you know, they retire for the evening, to spend some time and do some learning activities, because it'd be great for the students to be able to kind of stay sharp for the summer and not let those skills go out the door.
And we kind of had it easier when we were kids. We just stayed sharp with picture pages every morning. That was They made it fun, kind of nice and easy. The kids definitely have more on their schedules of today.
Do.
Yeah.
Well, and one of the things too is I think that, you know, we know that children, you know, younger and younger are little sponges, and they will soak up a lot. I think that, you know, I think about all of the things that we do for our students in kindergarten, first grade, and that expectation, those higher expectations, and students are actually, you know, learning to read in kindergarten. And, you know, I think about, hey, I didn't go to kindergarten, so it wasn't in my town. You know, we didn't have mandatory kindergarten. And so I always use that as an excuse. So, you know, that's probably what you know happened, because I didn't go to kindergarten. But no, I think that those are those early years of readiness and the foundational skills. And so it's important. But yeah, those students are embracing this type of learning. And so it's not, you know, play is equally as important, because play is, you know, all that social interaction builds a foundational level of vocabulary and language that's so important for our students as they get to school and to be ready for the things that are going to be coming to them. So I think that in kindergarten, first grade now, those skills that are out there, and they're learning to read and do their math and exposure to science and the environment and all of the things. I mean, I think about my education, and it was not that. But then, of course, you know, people probably think I went to school when the dinosaurs roamed. So,
and, you know, like I've heard on the news this weekend, too, it's like really cool when you hear some of these kids graduating and they already have like a bachelor degree. Some of these like really advanced kids.
Well, absolutely. We have, you know, our partnership with Indian River State College, and a lot of the students take these college-level dual enrollment classes while they're still in high school. And what a great opportunity for those kids to be able to receive some college credit, you know, put some credits under their belt, and to be able to go on their way and graduate with that AA degree.
Right on.
Laura, you mentioned kindergarten before, and speaking of kindergarten, virtual kindergarten registration begins today.
Absolutely. So any student that turns 5 on or before September 1st is eligible for kindergarten. And, you know, we hope that the parents of these students take advantage and go to our www.martinschools.org and look for the instructions and enrollment forms for kindergarten registration. And each of our school sites as well, each elementary school will have those forms as well. But yes, you know, register early and get your child registered for kindergarten, and hopefully we'll be able to see them in person at the door.
Let's talk a little bit about the free meals for the kids, if you would.
Absolutely. Well, that's something that we're really happy to continue and to, serve our community, serve our students that, in the summer typically we're closed, but throughout all this, we've been able to, through our Food and Nutrition Services Department, serve breakfast and lunch every day to children under 18. And we will continue that for the summer. So I think that's great news for our community, great news for all of our children, that those meals will still be served weekdays from 10:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. And those school sites that they'll be served at are Hobestown Elementary, J.D. Parker Elementary, Jensen Beach Elementary, Port Salerno Elementary, and Warfield Elementary schools.
And they'll be serving literally full blown on meals, right?
Well, they serve a breakfast and a lunch. So It's been, breakfast in a bag, and they get a hot lunch. The breakfast is for the next morning, and they get their hot lunch for today. So, the children, in the beginning, the children had to be present, but we know that, children are home learning, or children are, doing their things, and they don't have to physically be present in the car at this time.
Okay.
But the parents must provide the documentation.
All right, very good. Lori, talk to me a little bit about the connectivity surveys that are going out.
Well, and I don't have the results compiled yet from that survey, but yes, we did send out a survey, and looking for people, and we're really planning on that coming back to school, and what's that going to look like in August, which is we're all wondering. But also we want to make sure that we've had some areas of the community where the connectivity for kids was not the best, and we did provide some additional service for students out there that were having a hard time. But we really are trying to get a handle on this, because none of us want to think about being a virtual educational program in August, but we have to plan for it. And so really trying to get a handle on, what the connectivity has been for students that are out there. And, really providing that touch means some of the students that we've noticed that were not probably as participatory as we would have liked to have been, are getting a hands-on one-to-one touch. I mean, they're getting personal phone calls and sometimes visits to be able to make sure that, they have their laptop and they're not having any issues. And so we're really looking for the parents to be able to provide this information, any issues that they're having at home, whether it's access to the internet or whether we've continued to provide mental health as well throughout this entire past couple months here while we've been virtual learning.
I have one question as we're coming up against time here, and I'm just curious about this. Have you and your staff started discussions about the upcoming school year as far as how the busing is going to be handled, or is that something that the transportation department has to figure out?
Well, obviously, we are having these discussions, and I'm looking forward to, we have a call this morning with our Superintendents Association and looking at, how are we coming back to school and how are other people doing this? Looking at, we talked before about the busing, and, we put a lot of little children on those buses every day. And so if we have to socially distance on a bus, can it be, we have to skip a seat, or can it be one per seat? So we're really looking at those types of things to be able to, and that's part of our questionnaire too. Would, parents be willing to drive their children to school if schools were open, if the transportation becomes an issue? So these are all discussions that are happening right now, going on all over probably the state of Florida and probably other parts of this country as well.
Yeah, definitely. That'll definitely put a strain on the transportation system, especially more so if you have to do one every other seat. Now, basically, the capacity, you can put 3 people in a seat. Now the bus winds up doing 3 times the work. How do you get around that? There's so many variabilities, and hopefully everything will work out itself.
Right, and I think that we're in phase 1, full phase 1 of the Governor DeSantis reopening plan, and I think that looking at that full phase 1 implementation in say a week or 2 weeks, we're going to see the impact that that's had. So are we going to see cases rising? Are we going to see some leveling off? I mean, I think that, as we continue forward with opening up, we're going to see, the incidence of what's happening.
Yeah, definitely. I'm just gonna say it this way, and then again, I promise Bonnie I'm not going to talk about it. But with all the foolishness that happened over the weekend, there's definitely going to be a rise in cases, without a doubt.
Right. There was not those CDC guidelines being followed.
No,
for sure.
no, not at all. That's the superintendent of the Martin County Schools, Lori Gaylord. She joins us each and every Monday at 8 o'clock and gives us an update. Lori, it's always our pleasure from both myself and Bonnie to have you on the program. God bless you, your staff, your family, and everybody. Be safe over there at the school board.
And thank you, and back at you as well. And you have a great week.
Thanks a lot. You have a great week as well. 8:22 right now. It's news time. Let's go to the news desk where Bonnie is standing by. Good morning, Bonnie.
Good morning, Evan. A 32-year-old motorcyclist was killed in a crash in Jensen Beach Friday afternoon. The crash happened at 5:21 p.m. on southbound US 1, just south of Jensen Beach Boulevard. According to the Florida Highway Patrol, a vehicle driven by a 19-year-old Port St. Lucie woman was traveling northbound on US 1 and turning left into the Jensen Beach Mall access road when the male motorcyclist traveling southbound on US 1 collided with her vehicle. The unidentified motorcyclist from Bradley, Illinois, was not wearing a helmet at the time of the crash. He was transported to Martin Memorial Hospital, where he was pronounced dead. The female driver suffered minor injuries. The crash is under investigation. Protesters marched across a Stewart Bridge yesterday afternoon as a show of solidarity for Black lives. The protest along the Roosevelt Bridge was peaceful, a stark contrast to the protests that took place throughout the country in response to the death of George Floyd, the Minnesota man who died after a police officer placed his knee on the man's neck for nearly 9 minutes. Protesters held signs and chanted, "No justice, no peace," and "Black Lives Matter." One sign read, "Don't kill us, then ask for peace." Before crossing the bridge, the protesters gathered to listen to church leaders and other speakers, including Denver Broncos safety Justin Simmons. Simmons, who grew up in Port Salerno, preached unity and called for justice, not only for Floyd, but for all those whose lives have been cut short because of racism and hate. He said Floyd's death is the result of 300 and more years that we have been oppressed from the system. A man in Northeast Florida is recovering after he got dragged into the water by a 12-foot gator. Jim Darlington, reptile curator at the St. Augustine Alligator Farm, was in a canoe last week and reached out to get a camera that fell into the water when a huge gator grabbed him by the elbow and yanked him out of the canoe. Darlington was able to break free and make it to shore. He needed several stitches. And lastly, the 2020 Atlantic hurricane season begins today. And big question, is your home ready?
This is the time to secure your home and your property. Finish trimming back any trees and be sure to clear away any yard debris or loose gutters, which could all become airborne during a storm.
And it's time for a look at sports. Colin Kaepernick hasn't played in the NFL for 3 years, and one former NFL executive has addressed how the former 49ers quarterback's decision to kneel to protest police brutality impacted his football career. In a column for CNN, Joe Lockhart, the former NFL vice president of communications from 2016 to 18, discussed how Kaepernick's silent protests shook team owners and started a social justice conversation around the league. However, Lockhart also admitted what no one at the NFL has ever explicitly stated about the situation. Quote, "No teams wanted to sign a player, even one as talented as Kaepernick, whom they saw as controversial and therefore bad for business." Kaepernick's protests have returned to the national spotlight after George Floyd, a black man, died last Monday evening while being violently apprehended by Minneapolis police. Floyd's death has sparked many reactions from athletes, and protests have broken out in multiple cities across the nation. 8:26, our news time, weather and traffic together are next.
8:27 the time right now on the Get Up and Go show with Evan and Bonnie. It's time for traffic and weather together. Brought to you by Code Red Roofers. Bonnie?
If you're getting on I-95 northbound in Port St. Lucie, expect some delays. There is a vehicle crash with injuries. There's roadblock in the area. And this accident is I-95 northbound in Port St. Lucie at mile marker 122. And this is north of a Crosstown Parkway on I-95 where lanes are blocked in that area. Use caution. There's your latest look at traffic. In Stewart this morning, 77, and it's 75 in Port St. Lucie. Here's our forecast at WPTV.
It is a warm and humid morning here on the Treasure Coast with a slight chance for some patchy fog and a few coastal showers this afternoon. Very warm with high temperatures in the mid to upper 80s and breezy easterly winds. Rain chances are lower along the coast and a little higher inland with a few showers and thunderstorms possible around Lake Okeechobee. I'm WPTV First Alert meteorologist Glenn Glazer on WSTU AM 1450, Martin County's Heritage Station.
Let's get back to the Get Up and Go show. Here's Evan and Bonnie.
Time right now is 8:31. It's time to head out to outer space, where Randy Siegel is standing by, wishing that he was also on the Dragon when it lifted off from the Cape on Saturday, right?
Absolutely.
Man, that was gorgeous.
Yeah, it was quite a liftoff.
You don't get anything that pretty, probably never again.
Well, sure you will.
Yeah, but that was just special.
Well, because it's the first time that we've launched Americans from American soil in 9 years.
And then watching the capsule hook up with the ISS, that was even better.
That was cool.
Yeah.
When you saw that nose cap flip open.
Yeah.
And then it move into dock.
Yeah, that was way cool.
Nothing short of spectacular.
Yeah. Anyway, take it away.
Well, we all know that yesterday the astronauts were continuing their work on board the International Space Station.
They launched on Saturday afternoon. Doug Hurley and Bob Behnken headed for the International Space Station after slight weather delays before, and everything worked extremely well. The only casualty was a little knock on the head for Bob Behnken. He had a problem when he hit his head on the spacecraft, caused a little bit of bleeding, but not too much, and they were able to stop it pretty well. The chairwoman, Johnson, Eddie Bernadine Johnson, on the House Committee for Space, said that it's a culmination of everything that they had hoped for that would happen for the International Space Station. Nearly 10 years of investment and development culminating in this total success. Also, the congratulations came from the subcommittee chairwoman, Kendra Horn from Oklahoma, who said as the first American astronauts on an American spacecraft from American soil launched in almost a decade, the Demo 2 mission marked a significant milestone in our country's space flight history and commercial crew. Well, how true, how true. The astronauts did a tremendous job. Ex-Vice President Joe Biden also congratulated the astronauts, and as he said in here, this mission represents the culmination of work begun years ago and which President Obama and I fought hard to ensure would become a reality. We planted the seeds of today's success during the 2009 Recovery Act, which according to NASA has saved taxpayers up to $30 billion and invigorated an aerospace industry in Florida that accounts for more than 130,000 jobs in the state. Wowzer. Not too shabby. The astronauts have named their capsule Endeavour, going back to several ships, starting with the Endeavour, and we also had a space shuttle known as Endeavour. So now we have a space capsule up there also known as Endeavour. The astronauts are going to be playing Capture the Flag because on board the International Space Station is an American flag that was flown by STS-135. That was the last mission of a space shuttle to go to the International Space Station. And as luck would have it, both of the U.S. astronauts who just arrived, Hurley and Behnken, were aboard that mission, and they left that flag. Well, now they're going to be able to bring that flag back to American soil. The drone recovery ship, Just Read the Instructions by SpaceX, has left Port Canaveral. It is going to be used on the next vehicle that is sent into space for the United States. That vehicle will be a Starlink satellite launched this week. Wednesday is the target date for that launch to take place as SpaceX will launch another Falcon 9 rocket. Currently, you may have heard that when the astronauts reached weightlessness, it was a little toy known as an Apatosaurus that was used to tell them they have reached a weightless condition. Tremor was the name of the Apatosaurus, and it was on board the station. I'm positive that we're going to see this type of plush toy selling out wherever they're available. It's a sequenced on one side and a dino turned a sparkling light blue on the other. When you flip them over the other way, the Apatosaurus takes on a shiny pink structure. So Apatosaurus got a big play on board the International Space Station. The crew has now settled in and has started doing a lot of work on transferring equipment from the International Space Station to the cargo inside the Dragon spacecraft, and vice versa. The astronauts are cleaning out the rack that they brought with them, and put it on the International Space Station. So it truly is a situation where we have multiple work going on at the same time. There are strict medical privacy laws that keep whatever's going on with the astronauts private as far as medical is concerned. Only if the astronaut chooses to disclose information, NASA is able to do so. On a couple occasions where some astronauts had to step down, notably Eric Bowe, who stepped down from his Starliner crew assignment for medical reasons, although we don't know what the problem was. The same for Karen Nyberg a few years ago, and Tim Kopra. Although it was very obvious because of a cast that he had for a broken hip. The Falcon mission that's scheduled to fly, there's only a 20% chance of weather violation. So it appears we're going to have another nice launch taking place from the Cape in just a few days. SpaceX has received a license from the Federal Aviation Administration, allowing the company to carry out suborbital flights of its Starship Next Generation launch vehicle. The FAA issued the license and said suborbital flights of the vehicle can begin from their test facility in Boca Chica, Texas, which is near Brownsville. However, SpaceX recently conducted over the weekend a test of that vehicle, and the vehicle, exploded. Yep, it made a hop of about 60 feet, but then it exploded. So the static firing that it had and a slight movement of it destroyed the vehicle completely. Now it's up to SpaceX to find out why and to continue with their mission of getting Starliner and its Raptor engines working properly. China has not been sitting around because China in the last several days has launched 2 satellites. One of them was a Gofan satellite that was placed into orbit. That's an optical remote sensing satellite. That one was in orbit. The day after, they used a new solid rocket booster, and they launched the experimental vehicle as well as another technology satellite. So China is not just sitting around. Tomorrow we'll tell you about the progress of SpaceX and the Chinese, and we'll also tell you about Virgin Galactic. So until then, have a great day, everybody.
That's your daily dose of space. That's a space report from Randy Siegel. He's always with us each and every weekday, Monday through Friday at 8:30. Gives us the latest and greatest news on NASA. Speaking of latest and greatest, wow, this place has some of the greatest food out there known to man. It's Ellie's Downtown Deli.
And, we heard that it was a gorgeous Saturday, too, this weekend at Ellie's Deli, where people actually had their lunch, Evan, out on the porch. Spectacular Monday morning here. And, you can do that again. Lunch on the porch at Ellie's Deli. And with a glass of beer or wine, you can enjoy a fresh jumbo wrap, included the Brie Zen. It comes with oven gold turkey, brie, mozzarella, some lettuce, tomatoes, cucumbers, onion, sprouts, and cranberry mayo in this fresh jumbo wrap. Enjoy a Caesar salad, too. Maybe a delicious chicken Caesar salad with homemade dressing and homemade croutons at Ellie's Deli. Ellie's Downtown Deli in Stuart now has their patio back open, plus they are at 50% dining inside with a full menu for pickup or delivery. Ellie's also has full dinners available for takeout, plus their fabulous desserts as well. Call 772-781-6605 to order and pick up today. They're located at 18 Southeast 6th Street, just off Colorado in Stuart. Call 772-781-6605. Ellie's Downtown Deli in Stuart.
Time for the Precious Metals Report. It's all brought to you by St. Lucie Jewelry and Coin. Gold is opening up at $1,732.40 an ounce, and silver opening up at $18.17 an ounce. 8:43 right now. It's news time. Let's go to the news desk where Bonnie's standing by. Good morning, Bonnie.
Good morning, Evan. A 32-year-old motorcyclist was killed in a crash in Jensen Beach Friday afternoon. The crash happened at 5:21 p.m. on southbound US 1, just south of Jensen Beach Boulevard. According to the Florida Highway Patrol, a vehicle driven by a 19-year-old Port St. Lucie woman was traveling northbound on US 1 and turning left into the Jensen Beach Mall access road when the male motorcyclist traveling southbound on US 1 collided with her vehicle. The unidentified motorcyclist from Bradley, Illinois, was not wearing a helmet at the time of the crash. He was transported to Martin Memorial Hospital, where he was pronounced dead. The female driver suffered minor injuries. The crash is under investigation. Protesters marched across a Stuart Bridge yesterday afternoon in a show of solidarity for Black lives. The protest along the Roosevelt Bridge was peaceful, a stark contrast to the protests that took place throughout the country in response to the death of George Floyd, the Minnesota man who died after a police officer placed his knee on the man's neck for nearly 9 minutes. Protesters held signs and chanted, "No justice, no peace, and Black Lives Matter." One sign read, "Don't kill us, then ask for peace." Before crossing the bridge, the protesters gathered to listen to church leaders and other speakers, including Denver Broncos safety Justin Simmons. Simmons, who grew up in Port Salerno, preached unity and called for justice, not only for Floyd, but for all those whose lives have been cut short because of racism and hate. And a group of protesters, too, gathered Sunday in Indian River County across from the Indian River County Sheriff's Office facility. People stood on both sides of the road holding signs and listening to speakers address the crowd through a loudspeaker. WPTV's Dave Bowman has more from Vero Beach.
Wanted to come together in solidarity for George Floyd.
Demonstrators are 1,400 miles from Minneapolis, where George Floyd died after a police officer knelt on his neck.
I can't breathe. I can't breathe.
But Floyd's death hit home with those who lined Vero Beach's 41st Street.
I can't breathe. I can't breathe. I can't breathe.
We just want fair policing and equality, and that Black people just want equal treatment.
Vero Beach native and former NFL football player Dale Dawkins says Indian River County law enforcement needs to build relations with the Black community.
I think the ones that's policing our areas need to get out and walk the streets a little bit more, shake some hands.
Hands up, don't shoot. Hands up, don't shoot. Hands up, don't shoot.
At its peak, the rally had more than 150 people here, but never once did it teeter on getting out of control. That's a contrast to a protest 80 miles away in Orlando where demonstrators shut down a street.
I can't breathe.
Vero Beach High School senior Amanda Gomez was at that event, too.
In Orlando, the goal was to kind of shut down the city, and here that's not the cause. We are just standing peacefully.
Let's not watch Black lives being lost live on camera and then no consequences.
Marshawn Green says African Americans in Indian River County have been victims of police brutality before, but she sees this protest as a starting point of something different.
And wanting equal treatment doesn't stand for hate. You know, it's just saying, hey, we want to live, we want to feel that we're being protected and served as well.
Don't shoot!
In Vero Beach, Dave Bowman, WPTV News Channel 5.
Lastly, a man in Northeast Florida is recovering after he got dragged into the water by a 12-foot gator. Jim Darlington, reptile curator at the St. Augustine Alligator Farm, was in a canoe last week and reached out to get a camera that fell into the water when a huge gator grabbed him by the elbow and yanked him out of the canoe. Darlington was able to break free and make it to shore. He needed several stitches. PGA Golf returns this month. The first event is the Charles Schwab Challenge that starts June 11th. 15 of the top 20 players in the world will be there. Our news time is 8:47, and weather and traffic together are next.
$8:48 the time right now on the Get Up and Go show with Evan and Bonnie. It's time for traffic and weather together. Brought to you by Code Red Roofers. Bonnie?
Well, Evan, we do see an accident. It's I-95 northbound in Port St. Lucie at mile marker 122. And this is north of Crosstown Parkway on I-95. We did see some blockage in that area, but it looks now from FHP, all of the lanes are cleared up that way. There's your latest look at traffic. In Port St. Lucie, 76, 78 here in Stewart. Here's our forecast at WPTV.
It is a warm and humid morning here on the Treasure Coast with a slight chance for some patchy fog and a few coastal showers this afternoon. Very warm with high temperatures in the mid to upper 80s and breezy easterly winds. Rain chances are lower along the coast and a little higher inland with a few showers around Lake Okeechobee. I'm WPTV First Alert meteorologist Glenn Glazer on WSTU AM 1450, Martin County's Heritage Station.
If you have a suggestion for the show, we would love to hear from you. Send us an email to WSTUmorningshow@gmail.com. Now let's get back to the Get Up and Go show. Here's Evan and Bonnie.
8:52 the time right now on the Get Up and Go show with Evan and Bonnie, and we have a phone caller. Let's go to the phones. Hi, you're on the Get Up and Go show with Evan and Bonnie. Who's this?
Hey, guys, how's it going?
Oh, it's the old man down the road.
Our daily call from the old man.
Yes, our daily phone call. And it sounds like he's in the Winnebago and he's going somewhere. Where do we find you at today, old man?
Well, I'm driving through the mountains right now, coming out of the Smoky Mountains. And, so we're going to our next destination.
Oh, and where's that going to be?
Well, we're still trying to figure that out. You know, you never know where we end up at.
All right. And where's Edna?
Edna's in the back. She's cooking up some victuals there, you know, for when we stop on the side of the rest area so we can have some breakfast.
Now, that's not too safe while the Winnebago is going down the road at 65 miles an hour to have Edna cooking over a hot stove, is it?
Oh, we use a really safe way to doing things, so she's pretty good at it.
You sure now?
Yeah, she won't blow up the Winnebago this time.
This time, you mean she's blown up the Winnebago before?
Heck yeah.
How many Winnebagos have you gone through?
Yeah, how many can you have in one lifetime?
Yeah.
At least 4.
So this is your 4th Winnebago?
Wow.
Well, yeah, you could say that.
So wait a minute. So Edna has blown up 3 other Winnebagos is what you're telling me.
Yeah, I guess she didn't know how to use the pilot light too well when she lit the match.
Oh, my.
You should just hire a chef with you both to ride in your Winnebago.
Yeah, you need to have somebody cooking for you guys if Edna's been blowing stuff up.
Wheeled out some of that retirement money.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you know, we're just doing the best we can, but, you know, what can I say about Edna?
Well, let me ask you a question, old man. How old is Edna now?
My goodness. Edna, how old are you? Oh, you're lying. She says she's only 22.
Oh, my. Wow.
Well,
okay.
You have some years on her.
Well, old man, how old are you now? I've lost track because I've known you for many years, and you keep following me from radio station to radio station for the past 25 years. So how old are you?
Well, I'm about, I think I'm 88.
Oh, wow. 88. Okay.
88
And
with
he's driving a Winnebago at 88 years old.
and a hot 22-year-old.
And a hot 22-year-old mama to boot.
Making him his breakfast.
All right. Well, not bad.
Not too bad.
She looks like I couldn't even think of her name.
Raquel Welch?
Welch.
Yeah, Raquel Welch.
That's it.
Wow.
Yeah, that's it.
Woo.
Wow.
That's pretty hot. Huh,
Okay,
Evan?
well,
Wow.
give Edna my best, and we'll check in with you guys. And where did you say you're driving to?
Okay. Yeah. Well, you just cut out. We're going through the mountain. You may cut out a little there.
Oh, where did you say you were driving to?
We're heading down through right now, getting almost close to Georgia.
Wow.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
All right.
man.
Well, be safe, and you can give us a call tomorrow and check in with us from the Peach State and let us know how things are down there in Georgia, if you would, please.
I sure will.
Hopefully they'll be peachy.
Oh, that's good.
Thank you. All right, say goodnight, old man.
Good day, old man.
All right, and that's, of course, the old man down the road. He checks in with us periodically from time to time, Bonnie.
Yeah, he makes me so jealous on his travels. Would love to be traveling through the Smoky
nice.
Mountains. And it's been so long since I've come across that borderline from southern Georgia on into Florida there. And,
I wonder really how old Edna really is.
Yeah.
22 is a little young for him.
I think he was trying to make himself feel pretty stealthy.
Yeah, but he's 88 years old. Wow. Man, he's up there.
They should hire a cook and a driver.
Yeah, but I mean,
Pretty
he's
soon.
driving. He's driving his Winnebago,
Yeah.
which is crazy. I've never heard of somebody at that age driving a Winnebago before.
Right.
That's
yeah.
got to be a challenge.
Yeah, very, very much so.
Hey, quick round of Would You Rather, Bonnie, and I'll answer with you as well. I'll take the first one. Would you rather be stranded on a desert island with your favorite pet or a stranger who does not speak English? I'll take the I'll take my favorite pet.
I'll take my favorite pet too.
Yes, definitely. Bonnie, would you rather have the power to instantly charm anyone you wanted or have X-ray vision?
The power to charm anybody that I wanted.
I'll take X-ray vision any day of the week. That's just me. Would you rather be caught regifting a present back to the people who originally gave it to you, or ask your boss's wife, quote, when's the baby due at the company picnic, only to find out she's not pregnant?
I'd rather have those people maybe catch me with the regifting of their package, and then I never have to see them again.
I'm going to go out on a limb and I'll take the other. I'll ask the company boss if she's pregnant.
Yeah, but with the boss, you got to like face him every day after that. And, and then he's going to be grumpy at you from putting up with her grumpiness.
Wishful thinking. Would you rather eat an entire box of saltine crackers? That's 4 packages with nothing to drink, or be trapped in a meeting with the upper management for 8 hours.
Ooh, good gosh. Maybe I'll take those saltines.
Okay.
I feel pretty trapped in those meetings,
Okay.
you know?
Let's assume your daughter's 30 years old. Would you rather find out she's marrying a man who's 65 or a man who's 18?
Oh, wow. A man who is 65.
65?
Yes.
I don't know. I'm kind of undecided on that one.
65 and already wealthy. I'd be okay with that.
All right. All right. That'll work. Anyway, wow, 3 hours just flew by.
I know. It's Monday too, and Monday wasn't so bad.
You know, the best part about it was you didn't get me going on a rant today.
Yeah.
I promised I wouldn't.
Oh, yeah.
And I kept my word because of all the crap going on.
We kind of started out like inchworms, but we moved faster. Like we became big caterpillars right along.
I think I'll be in a better mood tomorrow.
Well, you weren't in a bad mood this morning,
Well,
Evan.
I was. It's what happens when you don't sleep.
No, you were fine.
I was worried.
You're
I
just
was
fine.
up all night worried about my daughter. Anyway, we're WSTU Stewart, Martin County's Heritage Station. That's a wrap for the Get Up and Go show. And as always, we say ciao mein,
Honduras,
and Arriva Dirty. In the words of Ellen DeGeneres,
be kind to one another.
we sure need that, folks. Have a great day, and we'll see you right back here tomorrow. Bye-bye.